Hey yo, testing. What it do? What it do? Are we crispy? All right, how we sounding now? How we sounding now? Here we go. Are we good now? Better? Bet? Good? Sound clear? Are we crispy? Greatness can't be denied. All right, good. I was like, here we go. We already starting off with some BS right now. All right, no doubt. They trying, man. They're trying to go a bit louder. You know, I'm trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to. Hold on. I don't know what happened, but it's just weird, man. Believe me, let's see. See, I'm testing, and I have this maxed out. I don't know if the software is purposely. Let me see. Yeah, man. I got this all the way to the max. I got Discord to the max. Let me see global settings. I don't understand. Let me see. A lot of people keep saying I sound low. What is happening? Hold on. Let me do this. Maybe it's my... Hold on. Give me a second. All right. Let's see. How I sounding now? You sound like you're at mid-level. Oh, it says 2 apps is using my... Ooh, interesting. Windows is now saying that 2 apps is using my mic. The fuck are we doing here?
Yo.
Hey yo. Hold on a minute. Let me figure this out. Okay. Let me see something. So right now OBS and Discord's using my mic is using it. Oh, but that's normal though.
Is your mic low or something?
The chat it says is low, so they're hearing it low. How are you hearing it?
I'm listening to it on my new Steel series, so I turned you up to about 80. So it sounds, it does sound better. So I was wondering why everything was low for me. Somebody emailed me and said, well, now go to your Discord settings and, raise your, what's your output on in your Discord settings?
Let's see, video, audio, output, it says output device. Well, I think that's for me to listen. Right? So it should be input volume. Right? Let's see. I'm looking. Let's see. Maybe let me make sure nothing weird's going on for audio.
Yep, I'm on 85 and then 80.
Okay. Don't see nothing. See nothing weird. I don't see nothing changing. Everything look all right. I don't know. This is man weird. Let's see. Testing. Automatic determine input sensitivity. Hopefully my mic ain't fucking up. Excuse my language. Let's see. Test. Yo, testing. Do I have to talk super loud like a Puerto Rican? Damn. Let me find out. I have to yell and shit. Man, I don't know. I'm afraid to get into PC gaming. Kind of nervous. I'm about to hit y'all with these ads.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yo, we can hear you.
So, go to click at the Windows icon and type change system sounds.
Let me see. So in the search bar or just click on Windows?
Yeah, just click on the Windows icon or the key on the keyboard.
Yeah. Oh.
And then type change system sounds.
All right.
Go there.
Change systems. All right. Here we go.
Yep, and then there's a few tabs: playback, recording sounds. Go to recording,
right,
and then double click your microphone and make sure it's up.
All right, so I see recording.
Go to level.
Yeah, I see microphone. There you go.
Double click it, and then go to the levels tab.
Levels tab, and okay.
Is it up?
Oh, so it's already down on 47. Why did it change?
I'm not sure.
I had that at 100 one time.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right, how everybody here now? Everybody good?
Yeah, you sound a lot better now.
There it is.
I just came in to help you, start the stream up.
See, I need a PC. I need a PC masteries. Us console plebs. See, on console we don't deal with this. It just works.
Yeah, there you go, bro.
I don't know. I might have to go buy Xbox Series X. I don't know. I'm kind of scared with PC gaming now. This got me shook. If I can't even get sound working on a podcast, what the hell I'm gonna do with games? I'm gonna be calling. I'm gonna be hitting you up all night. Oh, he left. Damn. Hey, yo, Craig. Oh shit, I don't know what. Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm kind of scared for PC gaming now. I can. Yo, call me, Jay. I'm gonna need your phone number. I'm gonna need your ass on speed dial. I'm gonna be like, yo, why is this game running at 2 frames? You're gonna be like, all right, go into settings, go into your CMOS, BIOS, go into your .32x, type in //AZZYY. I'm gonna be like, I can't be doing all that shit. I just want to hit start. Hell, I don't even want to hit start. I just want
Windows
listen.
Updates. It like the other day I was on stream.
I can't be doing this. I don't know.
And,
Yo,
it reset everything for me. I'm like, I didn't do this. Hold on, let me click all these buttons.
Yo,
to make sure
listen. I don't even. gaming has been so simplified that we don't even hit the start button no more. Now, console gamers, we don't even need to read. We just hit three lines. That's how dumbed down console gaming get. Hit the 3 lines, you idiot. So you ain't technically even got to learn how to read. You know, all you need to know is shapes and 3 lines, and you're good.
Yeah, that's true. I've had multiple mic problems with my PS5 and with outputting sound, and I always have to go in and hit these 3 buttons, these 3 little dots to make sure it's working right. It's silly, but it is what it is.
What up, Salty? What's going on? Yo, what up, Salty? Yo, Salty's in the chat. Yo, everybody. So that's what I'm saying. Console game is so thumbed down. All you gotta know is shapes and lines. You don't even have to learn how to say the word start. I know I'm kind of shook with PC gaming. Oh, snap!
Coming. Eventually it's coming. You'll be telling your systems to voice activate. Turn on this.
Now,
you used to be able to do that.
No, Xbox, with the Kinect, So what was funny was there was a troll. Yeah. There was a troll. He called himself Xbox Off. That was his name, Xbox Off, and he would like get videos, and he would go in lobbies, Call of Duty lobbies to play, and everybody's like, "Oh, look, that guy called himself Xbox Off." Oh no, wait! And it's because they said Xbox Off, their Kinect heard it, and they start shutting down the console. So you would see like a compilation of all those videos, and they'd be like, "Oh man, my man here is called Xbox Off." And then that's it.
It start turning down.
It will start turning down. I'm like,
Even my Alexa, when I'll say something, I'll say to stop. It'll say, "Are you sure?" or "Are you certain you want this to stop?" If I'm listening to a song or something like that, it'll say something like that. "You sure you want me to stop playing this?"
Yeah. So how many like Alexa enabled devices you have? Like Fire Stick. 2. So I have 2 Fire Sticks and 1 that Echo Dot. Right.
Yeah.
Now the problem is they were all called Alexa. So especially like most of the time I don't use Alexa for like my Fire Stick. I don't really need it. Maybe once in a while, but not as often. But my Echo Dot, I always used it. But the problem is every time I use Alexa, everything will go on wonky, right? So I renamed the Echo Dot to Ziggy.
Oh yeah.
So it gives you alternate names. And one of them was Ziggy. I was like, Ziggy? So now I'll be like, "Hey, Ziggy."
Ziggy does help.
Ziggy's so much better. It's just so funny. Ziggy has
a couple names on there. A few names.
Yeah. Sure. So, yo, my man. Yo, Liquidator was good. Hey, I want to say shout out to the chat. Thank you for rocking now. It's been real hectic. I know. Hey, I also want to apologize to you. I'm not sure if other members will be coming on. But I know normally I would push this info out a lot earlier. But yo, it was just a real hectic day to me. A real hectic day today. And I just barely got this kicked off. Like, it was like typing everything, setting up or whatever. But I want to apologize for that. But hopefully other members will come through. If not, I'll hold it down. Craig will be here for as long as he can. He's one of the.
I could be here for a while.
Okay. Oh, nice. Because I know you were. I know you were a first responder, and you were out there, doing your thing in these streets. You know what I'm saying? I know you
was sick Sunday and Monday.
How was your birthday? Were you sick during your birthday? I know your birthday was last week.
No.
Right?
My birthday was last week.
Oh, okay. So happy belated. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed your birthday. Do anything special?
Went to Olive Garden. So
okay.
Pretty special. Drank a couple of mimosas.
Okay, you got the. Did you get the toilet? Oh, you didn't get the tour Italy?
No, that was no. I got some chicken parm and had a few breadsticks. They, all you can eat breadsticks.
Right.
Had a couple of mimosas. It was pretty low key. So that was nice. It was nice.
Okay. All right, so good. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So that's good stuff. All right. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of the craziness. Let me see. But hold on. My man Corey J, he said, what you said, Corey J? Check your Discord DMs after the stream. I'm gonna be real. I didn't even know Discord had DMs.
Yeah. Sliding into the DMs. Is that what
in Discord?
What that means?
We got DMs in Discord? Let me see.
I know they've done some changes. I keep getting updates on something called Student Discord. And
I saw that. Like, there's schools
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know about that.
Let me delete that. And then that other one for PlayStation. I keep forgetting Sony bought Discord. Now you can integrate.
Did they?
PlayStation.
No, I don't think they bought this going.
Or they bought a stake. in it.
It's thinking,
So
okay.
something like that. You can integrate. It was something like that.
All right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it was like a big deal at the time. Like, for me personally, I had my own little Discord channel.
All right.
So I was in it. But matter of fact, I'll use other people's. Like I'll use your like your open one. I'll use Speak from the Heart's different, one. We were on there the other day.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been silly. A lot of stuff has come out though that I'm really happy it's come out. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So let me hit up the chat. Say who's up in here. Say hello. We got who's up in here. We got okay. Here we go. Carol Ankle. What's going on? True Serum. Here you go. Just BX Games. He says you're late, proto. Always. I'm fashionably late though. That's how we do it. We do it in style. Hard work. What up? Leech was good. AC. What's up? We got Gabe King. Artemis. What's up? Bender of Strings. Pushing Buttons podcast. What's going on? Jeff B Gaming. Guap is doing his work right there. What else we got up in here? Going down. We got Kratos was good. J. Lou. Lima Charlie. Licking Chicken. He knows what I'm talking about. Spider Silva. Arc Warrior Angel. Advocate was going on. And then as we going through. Chicken Eye 210. That's a good one. Gabe, what's up? Vegan VR King, what's up? Going down through. Sam Recca, what's up? We're going through. Let's see who else. Robert. Let's see. Just tell people that you're keeping things on the down low. Sergeant, what's up? Thank you for rocking through. Appreciate you coming by. The Unknown X. Team Ambush. Here we go. Lionheart, what's up? Juno's 23. He's up in here. The Brain, what's up? And we're going through. Of course, Craig, you're up in here. Alpha Will, you're up in here. Craig the tech guy, still trying to use your drill sergeant voice. Guap out here. Brian Rios, what's up? Wild Wolf. Oh, man, here we go. Thank you so much for rocking out. Appreciate you guys stopping through. And let's see. Strictly Gaming. What up, my brother? Thank you for coming through. And let's see. I think we have the rooms coming up through. Of course, we got Salty out here. I'm gonna use one of your tweets for this podcast. It was very interesting. He knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you want to hop in, Salty, by all means, please let me know. Would love to have you on. I know it's a last minute thing. This whole day is just crazy. I'm gonna let you guys know this is just ad hoc day. Things are just flowing. Hopefully we could provide you good entertainment. Usually,
I didn't see the room. Yeah. You usually create the room.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe he's not doing it today. So
so that's part.
I almost fired up the Madden, but then my phone made that noise. I'm like, oh,
there we go. Yeah. Billy Akira, what's going on? Who we go? Dre Watson. The room's coming in. Hit the like button. Do not make me use the advertisement button. Do not make me use that weapon, because I will use it. All right?
Always threaten to sing if they don't hit the like button.
All right? Just hit the like button. Okay? Just hit the like button. Or I will insert some ads, and then, I make sure all the ads is like old people stuff, like Middle Musil, I add that, Geritol, are you having trouble with intimacy? You're going to see all that weird stuff. You ain't gonna see gaming ads. No, you're gonna see all the weird stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Preparation H, all that stuff. You're gonna see all that stuff. That's the type of ads you see on this channel. You don't see gaming ads. Oh man. Oh, but anyway, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. But hey, yeah. But hey, Salties, let me know if you want to hop on. Hit me up in the DM. I'll send you. I think you should already have the Discord link. I don't know. To be honest, I'm terrible at curating my Discord because it's like the Wild Wild West. Like I don't know who has access or not. I just send it out and whatever happens. You know, it is what it is. Hopefully, one day I don't invite the wrong person and then it just becomes a disaster. No, but I do. You know, okay. I'm gonna send it to your DM.
Slide into the DM.
You know, I got you, brother. He goes. Let me hook this up.
You're bad. I'm horrible. Like I don't even know how to invite people into mine. So, because I don't use it a whole lot. I am using it now because of the big breaking news that happened when Mr. No Cap left PlayStation Nation. So
what was that about?
Oh, that was a big deal. I had a really good podcast
with him. Was he there?
Huh?
Was he there?
No, I was in the podcast when he declared he was separating from it, which again, it was because you're separating from the goofy ass fanboys. So you don't want to be associated with it. Because I'm like, when people were like messaging me, like, why did he do that? Because he don't want to be associated with stupid ass people. I don't blame him. You know, nobody wants to be associated with stupid ass people anymore. So just it is what it is. But I thought it was funny. So, but that podcast for me I've done for my podcast, I've done pretty good numbers off of that.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Which did surprise me. So, and even had a shout out to Link. He came in and he was even calling these dudes moist as hell. So,
all right. Hey, Salty, I sent you the link. To the left, just go to the 60 NFL waiting room. I will pull you down into the live air, and then I will give you podcast rights. So that way you ain't got to worry about that nonsense no more. But, yeah, man. This is crazy. But I do want Salty's opinion on the first topic. Ruham, my brother, what is good, man? How you doing, brother? I hope everything's good. I hope everybody's doing good, man. It's a good day. I'm going to let you know tomorrow I'm going to see the Yankees. They're here in California. They're playing Anaheim Angels. I think they lost yesterday, to be honest.
Lost a whole bunch, and it was like that.
Yeah, August.
Games, like, it don't matter. They're still in first place.
But August was August. Yeah, they lost by 1. But August was a bad. Yeah, they lost a lot. Yeah, so
it's better for their bats to go cold now and then heat back up.
That's the theory. You know what I'm saying? You know, just as long as they don't lose tomorrow when I show up, because that will really piss me off. I'd be like, damn it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be out there, talk my shit. Hopefully, I don't get shot by any Bloods or Crips or anything like that. Well, really Crips. I mean, really Bloods, because I'll be wearing blue, so the Crips. I might survive that. I'm just trying to watch some baseball games and stuff like that, But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. See the Yankees play. See them do what they do. Obviously we got Project Cloud up in here. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man?
How's everything with you?
Busy,
Yeah, aren't we all, man? It just seems like like I did a lot today. I'm like, man, apologize for sending out the link late to you gentlemen. The snitch did something today, didn't he? What did the snitch do? The snitch, did he leak the... I couldn't find it. I don't know if it got deleted. But did he apparently leak that Sony's having an event September?
Yeah, somebody leaked something.
September 8th.
So he leaked that, right?
Allegedly, he leaked it. But I don't know. I mean, if it doesn't come from Sony, nobody...
But I'm going to say he's been good.
Yeah.
No, like, he is the only one... Well, I was like, wait a minute, this is too good now, because he's been on point. Like, how some people are very vague? No, he's like on point. So I don't know who he is, but this guy is an insider. I don't think he's even an insider. I think he's literally insider that works for Sony. He's got to be an employee at Sony. Not like an insider that knows someone from Sony. I think he literally works for Sony. Got to be.
Well, I think there's some people that speculate he works for a studio
Or something.
within Sony.
He's
They
good.
get that kind of information.
He
But,
is.
No, you're right. I mean,
he's good.
But when is the D20? When is the Disney thing?
Is it September? Is it September also? September also, right?
Yeah, that's coming
Next
up.
week?
So maybe, yeah, I haven't, because that is a big deal because Disney's connected to Lucas Arts, which they're the ones that license out the Star Wars stuff,
Yeah.
and then Marvel games, of course.
So you think there's going to be a lot of Star Wars news or some crap?
There are several Star Wars IPs out for development.
Oh, for games? You're talking about in games?
For games, yeah.
Right.
For the D, I forgot what Disney's game. It's something D something they're calling. So it may be D20. Maybe it's D23.
I think it's D23 Expo.
It's D23,
something in the title.
Oh, D23 Expo?
It's something about Disney Games Expo, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. By the way, Craig, I'm not sure if you might have seen me asking, but like you put out a tweet a bit ago about how like the new PlayStation IP that's is like going to cause a riot. Like,
yeah.
Was that like a totally brand new IP that's like not based on even a Marvel comic or anything of that nature?
It's based on an IP that I was told that everybody's been talking about. I'm like, well, if that is true,
that is so vague. Give us some details. Give us some details.
That is detail.
That is not it. That's not a detail.
IP that they have that they are allegedly working on.
That is not detail.
Okay.
That is not detail. I'll just say that's not detailed. That is not detailed.
Oh, you want the actual game? Why can't
No,
you give me the actual game?
you don't have to give me. Oh, you can at least give me the genre or something. Like
it's a game that people have been talking about.
That's
People
not a genre.
saying that they were going to have it, and
but that's like
it would be.
That's like Metal Gear.
It would be in a horror genre.
Oh, Silent Hill. Silent Hill. Then. Because that's really but it is Silent Hill because
it's in the horror genre.
Silent Hill. Because that's really the only horror. That's really the only. I know you didn't say that, but I'm saying that's the only horror game people have been talking about on PlayStation.
Okay.
That is.
Okay. That's what you think. Okay.
No, that's what I know. What? All right. Project. Let's because Craig's not gonna say nothing. So let's try to work this out. Let's solve the mystery. What other horror game has people been talking about on PlayStation over the last 3-4 years? I can't think of anything but Silent Hill.
The Resident Evil remakes, but we already got the announcement of Resident Evil 4 being remade.
Yeah, so it ain't that.
That's in the can.
Yeah.
So Craig,
and we got and also we also got the VR update, so that's already announced. So for the Resident,
which remember there were people saying that Sony doesn't talk to them like their battered wife.
Yeah.
And you got a VR update, and they got that new gamepad.
Yeah, so
I'd say that's keeping people pretty informed, and the VR is going to be playable at TGS. That's confirmed.
So we know, so we know it's not that because we already know VR8's getting a VR. So the only realistic is Silent Hill. Well, Jay Hart, shout out to Jay Hart with the super chat. He says it's going to be a horror racing game. Oh my god, that would be absolutely horrible. That would be absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that would be horror.
Like racing games in of itself suck ass. Now you're gonna try to cover it up.
I mean, it could be an IP that they used to have exclusive that they may have exclusive in a major.
No, don't try to confuse me. Now you're trying to do some Jedi mind trick. No.
Right.
You already did it. It's Silent Hill.
Yeah,
It's
and
Silent Hill.
There's multiple people that have reported on it.
Silent Hill.
Well, like I said, they've got an existing IP and they've got something brand new they're working on. So. But again, I would really want them to come out and say, "Here, we're working on these things." They've even got a vertical slice done to one of them.
It's gonna be the horror version of Knack.
It could be.
Craig, so just to clarify, like when you use the term like new IP, I mean that's in the purest sense, like that should mean this is a.
They've got two IPs.
This has never before been made.
They've got one that is brand new, and they have another one that they had. It was exclusive. It's no longer exclusive, but they may have got some exclusive rights to.
Okay.
They got 6 months rights to, and if that happens, there will be a riot.
Okay.
So we just have to wait and see if it's true or not.
You're a terrible insider, Craig.
Okay, so just to make sure I have you right on this, so you're talking about there is a totally new IP that is never, it's not based on a comic book or any other existing in any other medium.
Yeah,
and then there's also
IP that's out that is very popular that they may have something exclusive going on.
Okay.
And then they have another one. They have another new IP that they're working on that hasn't been announced.
Okay.
So have to wait and see if they have. But they better.
Yeah, because I think you said Insomniac was one of the developers making one of those games.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I think you.
He's backtracking.
No, I don't believe I said who was making it. So
if it wasn't you, then maybe I'm confusing you with Foxy Games UK.
Oh, never, forget. All right, we're gonna start the. Oh God damn! He said keep it Foxy. Oh hell nah, Pachi Cloud. We not doing that here. Now I can tell you that's all bullshit. I can tell you Foxy Games? Oh hell no! My man said Foxy Games. Oh shit!
If it wasn't Foxy, then it was Hip Hop Gamer.
Hip Hop Gamer. All right.
You know.
Hip Hop.
Right. Maybe.
Well, Hip Hop Gamer's been right about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Hip Hop Gamer. Yeah, Hip Hop Gamer. All right. But Foxy, nah, we not doing that. We not do that here. My man said, "Yo, keep it Foxy." We not doing.
Yeah, y'all are silly.
Both great, man. They're both great.
Yeah, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer. He's the one that broke the SSR 2.0. He's the one that he broke a whole lot of stuff that Sony was doing. That I mean, not just yesterday. He broke it years ago, a couple years ago. Well, a year ago at least. So.
All right.
And that turned out to be true.
So. No, I'm going to speculate that Resistance may be on the map.
Could
because that's sort of a horror franchise. As people have been wanting.
I don't think that's horror. I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't call it alien invasion horror.
But what if they made it into horror?
I mean, like more slower. I don't think they would because I think it's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter. I mean, it's good, but I don't know. It's an alien invasion or some weird shit.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you look at Callisto Protocol, I mean, that's a straight-up horror game.
Yeah, that's true.
At the same time, it is very. The way they're advertising, it's very fast-paced action.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not necessarily going to be that all the time. You know, there's definitely going to be changing up the pace as it goes. But
I think
going to be very intense.
I think it's just how you present the game. You know, like Resistance is more just like a Twitch first-person shooter. You know, you get all these weapons and you just be like, brah, you know, just lay waste. You know, like Halo, all Call of Duty type stuff. I think like a horror first-person shooter has to have certain elements of like, dread and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think when people want Resistance, they want the classic shooter, and then with the multiplayer, I don't know. Maybe I mean you could. I mean, it could be a scary game. They could alter it. I mean, it's possible.
Callisto Protocol is supposed to be more suspense than outright horror type stuff. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That game looks interesting. A lot of people are excited about it.
Shout out to Grizzly Bear. He says, I need the origin story for that poster behind you. All right, so the poster, I will tell you the truth. I know my boy well, I was on the Crossfire podcast. My boy try to play me, but Blaze 4K Sony baby. Shout out to Blaze. He's like, you talking shit about the Vita, but you got a goddamn poster. And I'm like, bro, there's a hole in the wall. So I needed something to cover it up. No, the truth is, so this whole time, I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. But my next door neighbor, and like we never really, I mean, we talked, in passing, just friendly neighborhood stuff. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing? He was a cool dude, but we never really like talk. Like, we never had a beer or went over each other's house. We never got that deep, whatever, right? But anyway, he moved to Texas because his job transferred him over to Texas. He's like, cool. So one day, because I guess he hears in a podcast and he knows about my podcast, whatever. One day, right before he's moving out, he's like, hey, you want this poster? He goes, I think you'll like it. And then I saw you know, this one. I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm like, oh, snap. What makes you think I like this? Like, it sounded weird. Because that's weird. Because this is very specific PlayStation. He goes, oh, yeah, I hear your pockets. I'm like, oh, where you got this at? He goes, oh, I get this stuff all the time, you know, with my job, whatever. I'm like, oh, where you work? He goes, I work with Sony. I'm like, yeah. And then he showed me all this stuff. He gets PlayStations, headsets, whatever. He gets all that stuff. And I'm like, this motherfucker right here. All this time, this motherfucker worked for Sony. Like, you couldn't just let me know some shit? Like, fuck. Like I literally could have had, like, an insider. I'm like, and then, yeah, he moved, like, 2 days to Texas. I'm like, what are the odds? And he showed me all the stuff he's packing up. This dude had Sony TVs, headsets, like, everything. His whole house was decked out in Sony PlayStation, all this stuff. Everything. So now he had to move to work over there because his company was moving him. But he got all that stuff. PlayStation games. He had like 3 Vitas, all that stuff. And I'm like, you work for Sony? He goes, yeah. You know, and sometimes they give me stuff to test out. You know, we just keep whatever. I was like, this motherfucker right here, bro. Like, yo, I was mad as hell. I was like next door. You know, I could have been a true insider. But anyway, so that's the origin of the poster. He gave me this poster. You know what I'm saying? That's just so anyway. So that's the origin. Y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, let's get back. Let's go quick to topic. So the topic of the week that got people in their feels is the price hike. Right?
Yes.
So globally, outside of the US, PlayStation raised the price at various you know, value whatever. Canada, European Union, Japan, UK, all that stuff, right? I want to ask, we all know it's inflation and something, but what I really want to ask you is just the difference between the US and the rest of the world, okay? Just, do you feel, how do you view this price increase as an optics for the PlayStation brand? And then the second question, why didn't the US get a price increase? And yes, I know the US dollar is stronger right now than the currency of the rest of the world, but that only means that if they would have raised the price in the US, they would make much more money due to the strength of the US dollar, but they decided not to. So those are the two questions. You know, how do you view this in terms of optics? And then how do you view why U.S. didn't get a price increase? Just opinion. I know we're not experts. We're not financial experts. I got it. It's just, I just want to see the polls from you guys and what you guys do. So we'll start out with Craig. So what's up, Craig?
Oh, well, the U.S. not getting a price increase is because we're already the biggest consumer in the world, and we're Sony's biggest customer. They also have a competing platform that they want to make sure they keep the price on. As far as the optics, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Demand is so high that they're going to raise the price. But overall, I can see where it could be considered a bad look. With that said, their internal numbers said that it was, you know, they had internal numbers and they had an outside evidentiary, I forgot what those people were called, evidentiary analysis. Say they're not gonna bring the number down on what they're still expected to sell by, like, whatever, this time next year. They put out I don't know, 36 million, 37. It was something to that effect. I can't remember the exact number they had projected out. So it's just we know it's inflation. We do, it's just stuff like that. And but I think optically, to me personally, it's this, today's price is not, you know, yesterday's price. That's one of my favorite sayings. You know, it's like that one girl who defended Johnny Depp. Her name Camila Vasquez. She got promoted to partner after that case, and it's like, hey, today's price is not tomorrow's price.
I've seen that around a lot. Today's price is not tomorrow's price.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. And but when you have this high of demand for in this case, their PlayStation. The PlayStation is the most in-demand electronic device going into the fall for the second year in a row. That is pretty unheard of for an electronic device, you know. So, and so they know they have the hottest item, so they jacked up the price. This is the whole that's the way I look at it. I know the fanboys went pure moist, saying it was an L, and it was all that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't know how it's an L when this is the price. You know, and the thing is still hard to find. Worst case scenario, Porter Rock, is that everybody, if you don't understand the way inflation works, and I'm not going to get into that, but you're going to, if you can create a surplus because you've raised the price, that could be something that does happen. That could be a serendipitous effect. It's like, well, I'm not going to buy it now. They could just sit there on the shelf, and that will create their surplus that they actually need. You know, they actually need a surplus, so you can go into a store and buy. Because you can go into the store and buy a Switch. You could go into the store and buy either kind of Xbox. I mean, like, you could go to wherever, Walmart right now, and go buy an Xbox, you know, or something like that, or Target. Yeah. So I even got an invite on was it Amazon to buy an Xbox. Like, you have been selected to buy an Xbox, so they have them in stock. So, but
you're pre-approved.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it just said you have 72 hours to put it into your cart.
You're pre-approved.
I'm not buying it. You know, so,
please spend.
Yeah, but that's what's going to be interesting. Is one, will it create a surplus, and number two, will it actually affect their number overall? I can't remember if they said they were going to sell 36 million or it was.
No, it's 18 million. They're projecting 18 million for.
All right, so 18 million would give them a grand total. If they sold 21,
that's like 39,
36, 30, yeah, something like that. So let's see if they can get to that number. Let's see if we can walk into stores in the fall and get them. I'm talking about these other people in these other countries, you know. So, but one of the benefits of living in the United States is that because we're the world's biggest consumer, that we're gonna keep stuff cheap for us. That's why our TVs are, you know, drop down exponentially in prices, and they're extremely expensive overseas. So, but yeah, as far as the optics are concerned, I always wait. I'm a businessman first, so So optics are just optics. Don't care. There was a day of rage. Now nobody's talking about it no more. But that's what I think about.
All right. Hey, so Unknown X in the chat's a fool. They, you know, somebody's mentioned, you know, leave PlayStation. He's like, leave PlayStation, go where? Xbox? Laughing my fucking ass off. Shout out to Grizzly Bear. He said, thank you. That was worth my money. I'm glad. You know, I'm glad you enjoyed the story, but it is a true story. I'm not gonna lie. Right next door was a dude that worked for Sony and got all this stuff. I was like, oh my god, this dude. But anyway, I should have been more friendly.
Sony doesn't have a gun to your head to make you buy their console. If you think it's too expensive, don't buy it, and then it will eventually drop in price. Because this is weird that something that has been out for 2 years has appreciated, especially not depreciated. It is appreciated. So like land, you know, so it's appreciated. Right. But yeah, so it just, you know, I'm willing. I always say I always give stuff a year. I always give it a year, you know, and let's see if they still get to that number. You said they're going to sell 18 million.
That's what
you're right. That is something that they said. So they should by Q2 of next year, or according to them, to their own analysts, talking about Sony's, they should be at between 36 and 38 million. So let's see if that's where they are. Now, if they come in and they're at 32 million, you can say this price hike didn't work out for them. But if they still hit their number, they're gonna be like, yeah, you know, we could have sold this thing, you know, for $600, and people would have still bought it.
Right.
So it's you know, it's that in demand.
Right. Silver Joysticks, thank you for the super chat. He said Jim Ryan destroyed PlayStation. Leave the dying platform alone and come to PC goodness. Or get an invite from Amazon to buy an Xbox Series X. Oh, stop. Stop with the Xbox Series X. We ain't buying that trash. PC, yo, I'm down. But, yeah. I mean, if PlayStation is dying, then what the hell is Xbox Series X? These dudes are playing Peppa Pig. Like, get out of here. Get that. Now, shout out to Silver Joysticks. And Cloak Onyx. He says, I don't understand why Sony raised the price of the PS5 in Japan when Japan is their home country. I have an opinion on that. So I will answer your question, Cloak Onyx, but I want to move this over to Project. Same questions to you. Optically, how you think this looks for Sony, And then number two, why do you think they didn't increase the price in the U.S.? And there's all opinion. It's just, it's just conversation.
So first of all, I want to say, finally, we're cutting into the scalper business.
No. So Sony's getting into scalper business now? Everybody's scalping prices?
I think they realized the scalpers were too much of a competition. Like, we're taking them out.
So now we gotta take out the scalpers at their own game. All I'm saying is this is the first time where being an early adopter is actually benefited. Normally, waiting results in better deals, better prices, cheaper everything. But actually being a day one adopter, you end up winning. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
So what do you think about this?
Yeah, so like I've seen, there's a lot of strong reaction out there to it. So like, I get it from a consumer standpoint. If you're somebody who really was sort of counting on that $500, equivalent in your territory, essentially. I know it's not verbatim that price, but you know what I mean. That's sort of Sony sets the U.S. price and then kind of goes from there to determine prices in other territories. So like, yeah, you're counting on a certain price point, and then all of a sudden it's raised, and it's like, well, you've been spending more on gas lately. You've been spending more on groceries. Everything else is going up too, just about. So with some fluctuations, of course. And then, yeah, I mean, look, it kind of stinks. I understand the sentiment that's out there that says this is anti-consumer. And it's like, well, I don't have anything to argue for those who are saying that, because it's like, well, it's more pain to the consumer literally being passed down. But I also, at the same time, am a pragmatist. I'm like, well, I actually think the $60 to $70 increase, for example, in games, like, okay, you could do the same argument that, hey, this is not what we want to pay, but guess what? It's still an absolute bargain. The games that we already paid $60 for, the ones that are really high quality, they're worth even more than $70, in my opinion. I'm not asking to pay for more than that, but I'm willing to pay it.
You gotta be careful.
Well,
They're gonna be like, oh, this guy's advocating for $90 games. Watch it. They're gonna clip that.
It's not anti-consumer. Yeah, it's not anti-consumer because they make
He's like, I'm not on Twitter anyway. I don't give a damn.
It's not anti-consumer.
He's like, go ahead. I don't give a shit.
Wait a minute. It's not. I hear you're right, Project Cloud. The people yelling anti-consumer, they don't understand what that means, because the fact that they create the device for you to go out and buy is pro-consumer. It's not their fault. You can't afford it. Like I said, yesterday's price is not today's price. So, but yeah, go ahead, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But yeah, it's not. The anti means against. How is it against you when they're making it for you to go consume? Now, they set their own prices. But anyway, now go ahead, continue. My bad.
No, I get it. Like, it's pro-consumer to have product, but again, when you're raising the price, it's like, again, the consumer, it just comes down to like the consumers in general. Those of us who have the brains here, which is a lot of us, we prefer to pay less. Like, I mean, if I could get it for $1, I get it for $1. It's worth way more than $1, but hey, the price is right at $1 as well. If they're going to sell it to me, like, I'm taking it for $1. I'm taking it for free if they'll give it to me for free. You know what I mean?
But if it's $1, let me ask you this: if it's $1 and you don't have $1, it's too expensive. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a matter of perspective. Like, the supplier and the consumer, they're, even though there needs to be a synergistic cooperation at the end of the day for the business to succeed, they do have fundamentally different philosophical approaches. The supplier wants to sell you more things at a higher price. The consumer wants to be able to get more things at a lesser of a price. So that's just how it is, as a consumer versus a business, essentially. So I get it. Like, if that's one's definition of anti-consumer, is that you're raising the price, like, I can accept that. Like, that's fine. But for me personally, it's like, well, it's still value. It's still an amazing value. And especially when you consider that you're getting, I don't know. What would you say, Craig? Like,
yo, McLaurin capping hard. Yo, I'm sorry.
What would a quote-unquote PC equivalent cost to the PS5? Not like one that's just about on par with it.
Okay, with no, are you buying a monitor or hooking it up to the TV? All right, because it will cost.
I would say without a monitor. In that case.
Without a monitor, you're looking at about right now. You're looking at about $1,400 right now.
Okay, see, there you go. There you go. So you're still getting the steal, folks.
They don't have the games. Are like, oh my god, there's some capping in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm listening to you guys, but there's some funny shit in the chat. Dude, I don't know what's up with the chat, but oh my god,
they're a steal, folks. They just are.
And also, Project Cloud, you did notice that Sony dropped the price on their TVs, right? Like their Bravia series have all come down in price.
That's good. So
so if you want to
that's because Bravia's trash.
Really
that's because Bravia TVs are trash. Ain't nobody want that shit.
I'll tell you why they did it though.
Because they're trash.
Sonic was coming out.
Yeah. Bravia TVs is trash.
The price of the LG dropped their price on their C1s. As
I forgot.
So all these people that TV is supposed to be
if Dark Cloud,
right?
if Dark Cloud's listening, he's all pissed off, bro. Cause that dude, but he works for Sony. But boy, Sony's the best at everything. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's wilding out, man. Dark Cloud is funny. Like Sony's the best in every product, even products we don't even think about. They got the best theater cameras. So when you go to the movies, that's Sony 4K camera. I'm like.
Yeah, that is true.
So, but who the hell goes to a movie theater thinking, oh, you're using a 4K from Sony? Because I ain't watching that movie. Like, what? Yeah. He's like, you like your iPhone? The diode is PlayStation. I'm like, the diode? The hell? I'm like, oh, shit, this dude is out here. Yo. All right, go ahead, Project Cloud. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, just a brief side note. It would be cool if, because, Sony is obviously the console manufacturer, and I feel like there is a bit of a disconnect between their TV division and PlayStation division. Like, I still don't know that they've ever really produced. I mean, yeah, they'll advertise certain features, but like compared to the competition, you can probably get a better gaming TV from LG than probably anybody else right now, or Samsung even with certain features. Like, and another thing too is with OLED. Now it's less of an issue now with like the newer OLED technology. With how it, reduces burn-in, but burn-in is still somewhat of a concern, So, we can leave that one aside because that's mostly solved now. But at least in the sense of like, certainly if you play Madden and you have logos up on your games all the time, that is something to think about. So it would be really nice if Sony could somehow be like, hey, if you love that Samsung, really bright, popping, not true to life colors, but just looks gorgeous colors. Like, we'll give you that option in this TV, and we'll also give you a mode for like all the accuracy for all you TV aficionados out there too.
Well, they have those.
And then also
give
you
the
good gaming features.
Yeah. So from I hear from
Sony has better natural lighting on their TVs.
Right.
Samsung has that artificial light. Like, Samsung TV is almost too bright, and LG kind of splits the difference. I mean, some people think the Sony TVs are too dark, but it's like, no, it's a natural. They're outputting natural light. But no, I agree with you. Yeah, they do. You can put them all in game settings, and then you'll have and it will default to just different kinds of settings, and or you could do the manual settings that a lot of people will do. They'll just go and say, well, I want higher contrast, I want this lower on gamma. But no, I agree with what you're saying.
So as far as the OLEDs, as far as burning, it's pretty much a non-issue. But the only caveat where people tell me is just as long as you it's really a non-issue because when you use the TV for shows and all that stuff, I guess it's all fine and that neat because you get the motion, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but for me, when they told me that. Because the TV I got for my PlayStation, I got a Samsung Q80T, right? So I was deciding between that and OLED. And when people told me, hey, it's fine, as long, when you play, you watch TV, all that will take care of itself. I'm thinking, but wait a minute, I'm not going to watch TV on this TV. Because the TV I got in my man cave, I don't watch TV on it. I don't watch anything. If I watch TV, I either go to my bedroom or I go to the living room. Like, literally, this TV I have right here, the only thing that's on this screen is just gaming. That's it. That's all I ever do on this. If I'm not gaming, I'm not even in this room, unless podcasting out as well. But if I'm in this room, I'm either doing homework, podcasting, or playing games. But I don't watch Netflix or anything on this TV, so I'm thinking, wait a minute. If I get a OLED and I don't watch TV at all, and all I do is gaming, and I do have this bad habit that I tend to pause a game, and then I walk away, and I won't come back for like an hour. I completely forget that I left the game paused. So I don't know if my bad habits would increase the risk that a lot of people normally won't do. But because, you know, I'm not watching any TV, I tend to leave things on pause for like an hour, maybe even 2 hours, you know, because I just, you know, whatever. Would that even increase the likeliness of burning whatever? So that's why I didn't risk it, whatever. But for the most part, if you use the TV normally, I heard you really don't have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I guess it's like Craig's point about, because obviously there are certain settings like on a Sony TV you can change, as well as, you know, all TVs now really. I guess what I'm sort of more talking about is like, look, I don't know, maybe there's some, you know, TV tests out there that prove that some of this is more down to the specific settings, but I want to say that some of it does come down to the hardware engineering and the chips being used in the TVs as well, you know, the processing that's going in. Basically what I'm saying is, like, in an ideal world, you'd be able to have a TV that can look as good as, you know, a Samsung if you prefer that, as well as, you know, a Sony look if you prefer that, as well as an LG look. Like, from a hardware standpoint, you have the full capability to do all of that in one display.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, it's sort of asking for the impossible, to be honest, because it's like there's different hardware engineers that are using a different, you know, platform to build upon. So, like, you literally have to get all those engineers in one room, and then at that point, it's like, well, why do we have different brands then?
Yeah.
So,
how the hell does this become a TV
like,
conversation?
Here's the ultimate. It's like, here's the ultimate TV that has, you know, all the options that you want. No burn-in. We're probably actually talking about more next generation technology, kind of beyond
8K,
OLED.
baby.
Oh,
Yeah, 8K.
Don't start that. Oh man, don't start that, please.
LED stuff.
Please don't start 8K conversations.
Yeah,
that's gonna be miserable.
Yeah, even QD OLED. That's like, again, it's OLED, but it's you know, RGB type OLED. So
yeah,
with the quantum dot filtering. So that's still in its early models. You know, there's still a lot of room for that to grow and hopefully get even significantly better than the W OLED that LG makes, that everybody else sort of buys from LG and builds off of it. So, but yeah, let's not get too sidetracked to TVs.
Yeah. Let's go back. So, all right. So you answered the optics, right? Now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's my other analogy I wanted to bring into this. So, like I was saying, the $60 to $70 I'm okay with, and if you think about, hey, in $100 worth of price, I think it's fair to say that the PlayStation definitely is worth $10 additional for every $100. So guess what? You get literally that. It's basically a $50 increase, going from 500 to 550 essentially. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like, yeah, they're making a fair enough ratio between what they increased in games, you know, for their premium games now to their premium console. It's like, it's not really an issue for a consumer that should be able to buy this type of thing. Okay. Like, I don't really see a scenario where it's like, oh, I had $500, but now I don't have $550. Like, are you a kid saving up with an allowance? Like, yeah, I just don't really think
you never know.
Sony necessarily wants.
You got to think of the children.
Well, first of all, like, if they're going to activate that thing, doesn't Sony basically say you have to be at least like 18 or something?
Yeah, but does the console really know? It's like a porn site. Are you 18? Click yes or no. Yes.
I mean, look, for the kid with the allowance that wants to get it, you know, okay, you know,
you work
you got to
work 2 jobs.
3 months allowance, but
work 2 jobs. All right, so what about them not raising the price in the U.S.? Because the U.S. is the only country. Like, were they afraid that, like, the United States Marines would invade Sony headquarters or something? Like, what are they scared of?
What if this is a testing ground?
What's
They're going to see how well it does overseas, and then if very successful, you know, no bumps in the road, relatively speaking.
Then they raise the price on us.
What?
I didn't even think about that. You guys are the beta testers. God damn, I didn't even think about that. You know, that never crossed my mind.
Yeah, they never said they wouldn't. They just said there is no price increase plan right now. And there's not. It's like they didn't raise the price of the PS4 and PS4 Pro.
Ah, damn.
I mean, you can still,
You got
that is the truth.
Listen.
Yeah.
Europe, stay strong, man. Do not beta test. Do not buy a
It's too late.
PS5. Do not buy a PS5. Don't buy it.
Do you see those stats about how many PS5s they sell every minute or second or something?
Yeah.
That's
Don't buy
crazy.
it. Don't beta test. You guys are beta testing the theory. You know what I'm saying? Save America. I didn't even think about that. All right, so that's a good.
Make America great again.
Yeah, make America great again. Don't beta test. All right, do not participate. Don't reconsider buying a PS5. Just stay on your PS4. You all right?
Make America play again.
Oh, make America play again. Mappa. All right. Oh, brah. You guys are beta testing the price. Oh man, that's a good one. All right.
But think about this for a second, because like I know like Netflix, or maybe it was Disney Plus. They first tested some features out like in I want to say the Netherlands, something like that. So like even Netflix as well. I think they're experimenting with ads in other countries first before they actually come.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, price, and they also do that with pricing too. Like in India, I know Netflix caters to the mobile market, so it's like kind of exceptionally cheap if you're in India to have Netflix. But yeah, they definitely do experimentation overseas, and then depending on the results, they implement that more widely. So, and granted, just because that does sometimes happen is not a guarantee that price will increase. Because another thing to consider too is the dollar, how that's apparently really strong in the global market.
Now stripper money is strong as hell.
So maybe it's like, well, from the dollar perspective, Sony's still making their profit, but maybe not as much with the other currencies. So that's kind of a way to compensate as well. So another thing to consider too is like they're getting their supplies from various different countries, suppliers, manufacturers, and sometimes the way that they arrange those, can be different per country because there might be a way to optimize for one region compared to another. So there's a lot of factors that we're not privy to. You'd have to literally be inside Sony to kind of see how and why they decided to make the decision and now. I think it's also worth noting that when Sony basically says we have no plans now to increase the price in the U.S. or however they said it, when they say like right now we have no plans,
that means it's not off the table.
There is no announcement now, but we are working. It could mean we are working on eventually getting to the place where we have a plan where we will implement it, but we are not at that point yet. So we're working on it, but stay tuned. Basically, is all it really comes down to.
So the price could happen. Interesting. For me, and this goes along to Cloak Onyx super chat where he says he don't understand why Sony raised the price of PS5 in their own home country. A lot of analysts says that the yen is very weak. But I think also a good part of this is competition, right? Competition, would be part of the conversation of what you can or you can't do in terms of raising the price, right? I think the reason, a huge consideration of why Sony didn't raise the price in the US is because of competition with Xbox. I think Xbox is doing very well, specifically in the US, and I think that may have weighed in as a factor on whether or not Sony wanted to raise the price in a market where Xbox could technically have the ability to at least lead in this market. Not necessarily lead globally, but in particular to the North American market, potentially gain ground to the point where they're the market leader for North America, which means North American game sales could potentially be in favor to Xbox and stuff like that. And maybe Sony's very cautious with that. To answer Cloak Onyx's question, why in Japan, I think it's because of the lack of competition. Now, hear me out when I say lack of competition. The moment I say competition, lack of competition, I guarantee everybody in the chat and everybody's thinking, but what about Nintendo? What about the Switch? Switch is selling great. It's the most dominant platform. Everybody buys a Switch. So hear me out on this one. So number one, Switch came out in 2017. By the time PlayStation 5 came out, it was already been 3 years. So the decision to get a Switch was already done. Japan was already about the Switch. It's very popular. It's a very mobile platform. Apparently, Japanese gamers, that's their go-to way of playing games, which is mobile. So that's already in the works. So I don't see the Switch as competition to the PS5 because it's already out in the market. And anybody, by the time PS5 came out, people who wanted a Switch already made the decision to get a Switch or is going to get a Switch. PS5 doesn't weigh in a factor. Since the launch of the PS5 and because of what the PS5 is, a dedicated console with, you know, amazing graphics and all that stuff, the Switch is not a good alternate choice. A person's not going to go, especially since the Switch has been out for 3 years, make the decision, man, should I get a PS5 or a Switch? I don't think that's really the decision point. I think anybody who wants a PS5, the only alternate products of that you can choose over the PS5 would either be an Xbox or get into PC gaming. I think Switch fits the role that it's supposed to be, which is, you know, a mobile, you know, a mobile platform, you know, a handheld, whatever. Sure, you could dock it and play it at home, but it fits that what Japanese gamers really want, right? PS5, I think it's more of a dedicated home console with great graphics, great performance, great power. But if they don't want that, then what is the alternate, you know, dedicated platform at home with amazing power and performance? Well, it's Xbox or PC. And right now, the, you know, PC is probably very expensive. Well, it's probably, you know, it's you have to put in a pretty penny into it, you know. And maybe the Japanese gamers may not be interested in spending that much. So the only option is Xbox, but Xbox does not fare well in Japan. It doesn't get the same support that the PlayStation does. So I think it's because Sony was able to pull this move, is really there was no competition to keep them in check. Because like somebody said in the chat, you know, not get a PlayStation, you know, what's the other option? Get an Xbox? Yeah, okay. And I think in Japan, that's literally you either get a PS5 or you're going to get a PC or Xbox. A lot of those Japanese gamers are not going to get an Xbox. They're just not going to do it. So the only alternate option is PC, but that might be out of their price range. You know, if you're going to complain about, let's say it was $30 price increase, you know. So let's say PlayStation's $500, but then with the price increase it ends up being $530. A $30 price increase is not going to go, oh, hell no, I'm not paying $530. I'm going to get a PC and pay $1,200. What? You know, that logically doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So the price increase isn't enough to be drastic that you'll go from a $530 or even a $550 console to a $1,200 PC. The price rate isn't that drastic, right? And the only really good alternate option to a PlayStation 5 is Xbox, but they're just not gonna buy an Xbox. And I think that's the reason why you see all these price increases in these regions. To me, these regions, Sony doesn't see Xbox as a competitor, where they have to worry that the price increase is gonna have people gravitate now towards Xbox, which is kind of, I ain't gonna say scary, but it's kind of like, wow, you know, you kind of wonder, is Xbox really gaining the momentum people are assuming it is, right? Or is it just stronger than ever in the US? I think it's just a case of Xbox is being really strong in the US, and because of that, they're keeping Sony in check. Like, Sony ain't going too drastic. But everywhere else in the world, Sony's like, yeah, okay, swat this fly, get it out the way, you know? Which I think competition always puts a company in check, you know, because the reality is, I know a lot of people saying Sony shouldn't just do it out of goodwill or be more consumer friendly. The reality is, no company is consumer friendly unless they has to be, and that's usually in relation to the competition that they're facing. If a consumer friendly decision helps them be more competitive against their competitor, then they're gonna make that decision, right? You gotta look at it as if you were to work for the company, you're just simply not gonna advise the board that we're not gonna raise the price just because we just want to look like the good guy. You have to give them a bit more reason to that. You have to tell them the risk of, if we raise the price, there's potential that the consumer due to the price, may now see our competitor as a better value compared to our brand. This may cause less sales, which in turn cause less game sales, less subscription sales. You gotta like convince the board members of the risk. I think they were able to do that for the U.S., but when it comes to overseas, everywhere else, it may not. They probably feel the risk of raising the price outweighs the risk of Xbox outselling PlayStation in these regions, and I think that's probably a consideration to this. I could be wrong. It could be a whole bunch of other stuff, but I know normally when you have a good competitor and you're not on top, or you're fighting to get on top, you tend to make more consumer friendly decisions in hopes that puts you ahead with your competition. And then when you're on top and you're dominating, you tend to make, dumb decisions. You tend to just go off the rails for whatever reason. It just seems like in gaming, when somebody's on top, they start just doing these, kind of like, let's see if we could get away with some stuff.
So P-Rock, I was just reminded of something that, is very kind of interesting and relevant to this. Now, Jack Tretton, he used to have to talk about how the PS3 cost $600. At least one model of the PS3 cost that much at one time.
Yeah.
And of course, pushback and not great headlines that came out. But isn't it interesting that we're now actually, of course you have the PS5 model that's $400, so that definitely takes this thing out of it. But I think the most common model people are buying is probably the $500, one that actually has a Blu-ray disc reader, because I think that's just, if you have a physical console, just get a physical disc reader, man.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't use that reader, like, it's just worth it.
I think the flexibility, the 4K UHD, the option to get physical. So even if you're all digital, you can still be all digital with the disc reader, because at the end of the day, whether you buy physical or digital, they all get installed. I think a lot of people may not understand that these games don't run off disc no more. So whether you buy physical or digital, it ends up in the same place, installed on the hard drive, and it runs from the hard drive, the SSD. That's where the game is at ultimately. It will always end up in SSD. The disc is just a license. It's just the system recognizing, you own this game. So really digital. Going physical doesn't save you space. A lot of people, I get physical because I don't want to use all that space going digital. I'm like, no, you're using the same exact space because it gets installed on your SSD. The disc at that point is just a license key at that point, right? But physical gives you more options. You somebody might buy you some games not realizing that you're all digital. They may be like, I bought you Christmas gifts. Here's a couple of PlayStation 5 games. And you're like, shit, I own the all digital console. These are physical discs. I can't use it, So it's always a good flexibility. And then also if you're into movies and you don't have a 4K UHD player, now you have one.
Yeah. I have a 4K player, so separate. I think I've watched 2 movies on my.
I have yet to use my. I have yet to use my. I have yet to use my PS5 as a 4K player. I don't have no 4K movies.
Oh yeah, with PS5. Yeah, they it's a Sony 4K Blu-ray player, so it's not like it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's actually good. I prefer my standalone 4K Blu-ray.
Usually the standalones are still better overall. Yeah. They usually have a better UI. They just, but I really don't care about 4K movies that much, even though I heard like the actual 4K movies on disc is so much better as compared to what you stream, which makes sense.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's a lot better. If you're into the pictures and
if you're into
stuff like that, I've in-game in 4K. We just watched that the other day for like the 10,000th time. And the splash scene where they're all running towards each other, that on Disney Plus, while it looks good, it's still like a step down from the physical hard. It's still better. It's the Disney Plus version, because they got the IMAX version. It does look a little better, but that 4K version on disc, it just cuts it. It looks better.
All right.
Hard to explain unless you're into that type of.
So I'll just finish up the topic, but So Ampere Analysis did an estimate after the news broke out. So I'll just finish off with this before we move on to the next topic. But it says Ampere Analysis estimates that Sony has sold 21 million PS5 worldwide compared to Microsoft Xbox Series consoles at 13.8 million. Harding Rose said that he does not expect this to put off gamers wanting to buy PlayStation 5 given demand remains high. While we believe there will be disappointment for some consumers that have been trying to buy a PS5 without success, or that were saving money to buy the console just in time for the price to increase, the high pent-up demand for Sony's device means that this price increase of around 10% across most markets will have minimal impact on sales of the console, he said. We expect Sony sales forecast for the PS5 to remain unchanged. So some market analysis feel that it's not going to change, and we will lead into... give me a second. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you mind if I read something from Tretton here?
Of course.
Yeah, I was just looking at this article. This is from back in 2011. So he has since come out much later, years later, and is like, yeah, the PS3 costs too much. But at least it's interesting at the time what he was saying. He said, I don't think price makes or kills a platform. Something that's lousy, that's very inexpensive, is not going to be successful. And something that's pricey will ultimately find its audience if there's enough value there. He's also said people are used to spending several hundreds of dollars to get a portable device. I think in the long run, when you look at that total investment in a platform, the amount of money you spend on the hardware is a relatively small percentage of the total investment. And it's like,
that's what Steve Jobs used to say. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what Steve Jobs used to say. You know, that there are people out there who are willing to pay more to be part of an exclusive club. That was literally what he thought, and he wasn't wrong about it. That's why when you go to the store and you look at the Apple products, they're goddamn ridiculous in prices. But they will tell you it's worth it. They'll tell you that. So again, the price is the price. If you can't afford it, it's not Apple's fault you can't afford it.
Yeah, but I mean, so that's true. But I think ultimately, if you're gonna sell something at a price, the majority are going to ask, what does it do for that price? Sure, you're going to have people who buy something that's expensive just simply because it's expensive, you know? But ultimately, it comes down to quality, right? And to get the mass market, like iPhone has a mass market appeal. But iOS is really good operating system. It actually appealed to a lot of people. So when people says, what does it do? It actually does what people want. They're like, it's worth it, right? The PS3 didn't do that. It didn't. That's $600. Like, people, the end all be all is the games. It's the game. Like at the end all be all, if you're gonna release a $600 console, you better have some goddamn banging games. And the launch did not have that.
But it also had a Blu-ray player.
But that's where Sony messed up, right? Yeah. Because you're trying to.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, because you're.
Did it have an HDMI?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it had all this newer stuff.
Yeah.
I agree with you. They literally thought
they misread the audience.
Yeah, they did. They were a generation ahead.
Yeah, you or
half a generation.
Yeah, you misread the audience. You're trying to sell an audience with a Blu-ray player that didn't even have high definition TVs. They only wanted a gaming system. Majority of people during the launch of a console, the only thing people care mostly about is games. And I think the higher cost you launch a console,
they had them.
What game? Genji? Motorstorm?
Well, they had Resistance. They launched with
Resistance, yes. Resistance was really and those games did not compare. Like, think about it. By the time PlayStation came out, Microsoft was pushing Gears of War, Condemned, Cameo, and then they were already announcing Halo. They were announcing big blockbuster events. We are fucking around with Genji, and trying to hit a crab at its weak point. I don't know if you remember E3. You know, hit him in his weak point for serious damage. I'm like, oh my god.
I do remember that.
They were like, and then they're like, oh, and this game is based off real Japanese history, and like a legion of 100-foot crabs fighting. I'm like,
yeah. No, you're right.
Oh my god.
You're not wrong.
Oh man, it was bad.
I was shocked they sold it for $600. But when you look at
it, hit the enemy crab in his weak points for massive damage. I was like, oh, and then they say no rumble, so you're removing stuff, And then you replace it with this stupid ass 6-axis and a fucking, excuse my language, and a rubber ducky in a tub. Oh my god. Like,
well, I think that
yo.
was the year prior.
Yo.
The year prior. Like, that was actually a demo that blew people away.
Yeah, it was bad.
So there was like
it was bad.
a year before where they were killing Microsoft because it's like, here's all this next gen stuff that like you're getting a preview of in 2005 or something.
It was bad.
And then the next year is like, well, PS3 was supposed to come out by I think spring 2006, but then they pushed it obviously to fall 2006.
Giant enemy crabs,
gap
man.
between Xbox, so that didn't look good.
Yeah. God, that E3 was classic. And Ridge Racer. Hey everybody, it's Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer. I'm like, oh my god, this guy out here playing Ridge Racer on the goddamn fucking, what is it, PSP? I'm like, I can't take it. Like, yo, it was wild. Sony was on that dust. Yo, I just pictured them in their room in the trailer with a mountain of cocaine, and they just dived into that sucker, bro. They just went, bow, man. Woo! Let's go! Yo, they went on that stage, and all right, yo, oh my god. I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of those E3s was so funny, man. Peter Moore came out with a Halo tattoo. I'm like, oh my god, they were wild. And then a Grand Theft Auto tattoo. I'm like, yo, this is wild. This was, yo, them in threes, yo, like, oh my god, like the Kinect introduction, yo, some of those E3s were cringe, but by far to this day the most entertaining E3s you will ever see, bro. I'm gonna look some up, so because I'm gonna show it. But for now, let's go to the next topic.
Back to press conferences, Sony. Like you're so great at them. Like
even when So
even when they were bad, they were still like, wow, you got to watch this.
Yeah. Well, they study. My niece, she has a marketing degree, and one of the things they did study was the Sony PS4 E3 on how to roll out a product. They said that was the perfect way to roll out any product, whether it's a car.
They didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they came out there and they hit their home run. So she said, yeah, they're still teaching what Sony did at that E3. So at least for them here at University of Kentucky, that's what they taught. Like they actually had a expert marketer come in and say, this is the way you market a product. And so they showed that entire E3 press conference.
Oh, did we just hear people from a non-gaming perspective just compliment Sony who aren't fanboys? Like, wow, you know what I mean? Checkmate.
Oh man. So, all right. So the next topic, real quick, is So, leading into speaking of sales, right? Apparently, Ampere Analysis, the same, says that console sales PS5 at 21.7 million and Xbox Series platforms at 13.8. PS5 is outselling Xbox Series platforms by a ratio of 1.6. And for reference, at the same time frame, PS4 was outselling Xbox One by a ratio of 1 to 4 or 1.4 by this time after launch. So technically speaking, while Xbox is doing better, but PlayStation 5 is doing much better as well, that is actually outpacing Xbox at a faster rate than the PS4 was outpacing Xbox One. What do you guys think about that, Craig? What do you think about that Sony's actually, even though Xbox by its own metric is doing better than the previous Xbox, so it's selling more. It is selling more than the previous Xbox. Okay, so that's understandable. But PlayStation 5 is at the point where it is also selling better, and it is doing better at a higher rate than what PS4 was doing to Xbox One. And keep in mind, PS5 has shortages. So unlike PS4, which was not limited by any shortage by any means, it was always available. Stocks was always around. You could pick it up anytime you want. Even with PS5 shortages, it is still at a higher rate.
What?
Yeah,
but it took PS4 about 4 to 6 months to really get product in store.
I don't think so, right? Because I could have gotten a PS4 anytime during the first 2 years. I just didn't want to. Like even at launch, like the next day at launch, I was able to still see PS4 consoles where at the PX, like but I didn't see
we had a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I didn't see PS4 as I saw it as high demand, but I didn't see it as like it would be hard to get. I just didn't want to get it, for the first 2 years because they didn't really have the games I was interested. I always felt the launch of the PS4 and Xbox One was pretty weak in terms of library. I didn't see the hype over it. Gamer Boy, he says, "Yo, P-Rock, what's up, everyone on the panel? Sony couldn't stop include Rumble due to a patent, I believe. I may be wrong, but both Sony and MS had to pay royalties to a company." That is true. Sony did get hit by a patent, and in the end, they ended up paying the patent. They just gave up. But that was because of I think Sony didn't want to pay the patent, so they thought, we'll just get rid of Rumble altogether. But they got so much backlash on that one that they ultimately gave up and said, you know what? All right, fine. We'll pay the patent, bring it back, which... It's just crazy they even attempted to do that, but yeah, that's a good super chat, man. Thank you for bringing that up. That was a memorable buffet, But anyway, so what do you guys think? So, Craig, what do you think about that? That Sony's actually doing better, in competition to the Xbox Series platform as compared to the PS4, and Xbox One gen had a pretty bad start. So that was It
shows you that this is why Phil Spencer wants out of physical market. So, because no matter what they do, I mean, they talked about 52 T flops or 52 CUs and 12 T flops. It's just not going to matter. They did come out. One of the things that got disclosed during their Brazil thing was that they cannot compete with PlayStation because of name brand recognition. Like, they're never going to be able to usurp them out. So they feel like they have to do the things they're doing just to be competitive. And so, as you said, even though Sony is having issues with stock and things like that, they're still outpacing the last generation. That's why when I hear these, I call these gamers hobosexuals, say Jim Ryan needs to be fired, then you see this number. It's like the system that he's in charge of is outpacing the Sean Layton system. And they want to give Sean Layton fellatio. So, so the numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. So I'm not surprised by it. You're right. Xbox is doing the best it can do, and their best isn't good enough. So I think it's par for the course on. It's just a testament to their product, their brand loyalty, and this is why, to go back to your first question, this is why they can raise the price. They already know they have brand loyalty. Where are you gonna go? So I mean, where are you going to go? So you're going to go to their competitor. They're like, yeah, go ahead. We're amazing. So, but yeah, the numbers don't lie on stuff like this. So I'm glad they did. If Ampere is right, it could be closer to, it could be a higher number than that. I remember that's just their estimate. So brand loyalty and the fact that they're able to do that just shows you that no matter Xbox doing the best they can, it won't be good enough. They will never catch up, primarily because they did have a bad Xbox One generation. The 360, although it sold well, wasn't very quality made. Remember, they had that massive recall. They damn near ended up they almost had an antitrust lawsuit on the 360. So, but yeah, it's just cracks me up when you see the numbers. It's like, they're outpacing their last generation, and so Jim Ryan's not going anywhere. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers. So, yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yo, just looking back at the records for Connectum, this shit is so cringe. Jesus, this is the fake. I'm sorry. My favorite part of this is when the cat starts licking the screen and she starts acting it out. Like, the cat's not really licking you, girl. Like, what are you doing? Why are you embarrassing yourself? Did we see that scene already? Oh my god, this was classic E3. Look at this. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Alright, hey, Project, what do you think about this? That PS5 is actually outperforming better as compared to PS4 in terms of competition around this time frame. Oh, look, right here's the lick. Here's the lick. Look at her.
Yeah.
She's getting her Emmy. She's getting the Emmy. She's getting the Oscar. There you go. What the hell was that?
Money shot.
That's right there. She did it. She sold it.
Yeah.
Right there, America. She sold. She's so connected to America right there.
Connected to America.
Oh my God. So what do you think about this? That did you expect? Because there is a level of Xbox is doing better compared to their previous. But did you expect that PlayStation 5 is doing so much better that's actually outperforming the Metrics PS4 set versus Xbox One? Did you think that would happen?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we live in a different, situation than back in 2013. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily surprise me because I think gaming has grown as you've got more immersive experiences. It just makes more sense, with all the social technologies out there that people will just kind of gravitated towards gaming even more. And I would even say the Game Pass model has definitely been the redeeming quality of Xbox. Whether somebody personally likes that or not, it's a win for the consumer to have that as an option. We can debate the optics of the long term of whether or not that's viable and all that. But you know what? When Microsoft's throwing money at it and consumers like it, it is a win on some level. It's actually on a huge level, but assuming it is for you. But I also say this too, it's nice to see that the more traditional model under Jim Ryan is really thriving, and he's really, if Sean Layden, put us in a race car for the PlayStation, Jim Ryan hit the.
I want to ask you a question. So sure, Xbox, PlayStation whipping Xbox axe. You know what? I want to ask you a question. I'm gonna switch the topic to this, right? Chris Righteous, listening to one of the spaces. It was yesterday, I think, right? He made an actual profound comment that I'm like, wait a minute. He has a good point, right? He really did a good point on something, right? And I want the chat to hear me out with this one, right? Follow what I'm saying, right? And this never dawned on me until he said it, and he said it like under a whisper, right? And I caught it, right? Let me see. Let me catch it to some super chats. Gabriel, remember he says, posts, I'll just say lover. Sony should raise the price to $700. Gangster. Oh, shit. Post again. You need to wrap it up. Box. P-Rock. Oh, snap. And then M's Odyssey says, TSMC, Qualcomm, and chip makers up the price of chips plus Russia, the leading fuel producer. Started a war, so that increased the price of everything. That is true across the board. That did something. Thank you so much for the super chats, man. And post Mel Lover. Unbelievable. Man, why are you always ragging on that, man? I don't know who that account is, but I want to ask you this. So I'm gonna bring this up. This is an ad hoc question. So anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. So Chris in the space made a quick comment, right? Because when Sony announced the price, Jay Barry, Persona, they made a thread about it and stuff like that. No, it wasn't even that. It was, I guess, Jim Ryan addressed PlayStation Asia stuff like that. But anyway, Chris Wright made a comment, and I think I said that for like 100 times. He said that the games we have been getting have been greenlighted by Sean Layden because it takes a while to make. So it wasn't Jim Ryan. We still haven't technically seen what Jim Ryan can actually do in terms of providing those games. And I just realized, and he said that quickly, and because of the whole hysteria of gaming's going to PC, and of course the next topic we're going to talk about is Sony Acquisition Studio. His little comment, got swept under the rug. Nobody really noticed it. But when he said that, I completely ignored the rest of the space, and I thought about it. And when you just mentioned that, Sean Layden brought the race car and, Jim Ryan's doing... Have we actually seen Jim Ryan put in work yet? Because all this stuff all this stuff we're enjoying that we physically are enjoying is under technically Sean Layden's purview. Think about it. Think about it. Take for example the PlayStation 5. That's under Jim Ryan. I mean, that's under Sean Layden. It wasn't under Jim Ryan's purview. This was all developed. There was no, but think about it. He was the head guy, planned, made the decisions, the budget. This was all under him. You know what I'm saying? The decision to go to PC. I mean, not necessarily. All right, let's find out when Jim Ryan left. I mean, Sean Layden left.
Yeah,
let me say. Just briefly explain. So,
go ahead.
Sean Layden, I mean, yes, he did at some point. He was at one point the at least with the CEO of Sony Entertainment America, or SAE America or whatever. But then eventually his role transitioned to, certainly by the time, significantly before the PS5 launched, where he was just head of PlayStation Studios essentially.
Who?
He's under a different name. So like,
I
really do think that he was much more of a software guy by the time there would have been much more kind of planning for PS5. Sorry.
Oh, who are you talking about? Sean Layden?
Yeah.
No, so Sean Layden abruptly left Sony September 30th, 2019 as the head of Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the head of PlayStation.
Well, no.
But that's 2019. So at that point, whatever's the PlayStation 5, the games launching on PlayStation 5, and the games in development for PlayStation 5, that's already done. At that point,
not the studios they brought in.
No. But what I'm talking about, the stuff we get to play, all the stuff we enjoy when we pick up and power on the PlayStation 5, and we're saying, man, this is amazing. This is amazing. Oh, I'm playing this. We're getting this. We got that stuff that is tangible in our hands. That's all Layden. Those are remnants of decisions Layden approved of.
Jim has been there for a long time.
I got it, but the end all be all is Layden. He was the final say, and he made the move.
Right, but see, you're leaving out the fact that the moving games to PC, that groundwork was laid under Layden.
Yeah,
you're right.
You see what I'm saying?
Making movies, taking IP and looking to see if it could be movies. That started under Layden. Layden, I think, even started a small company to do some kind of analyst, kind of report for Sony to say, yes, these IPs would be.
So look at this. Look at this. Demon Souls remake, Miles Morales, even Spider-Man in general, Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, GT7. That's all Layden. That's all him.
Right. That's why.
How is it in? Because he left 2019. That means after 2019, you're talking 20. 2021. Yeah, that's not enough time for Jim Ryan to come and make a decision and release a product. Wait, hold up. So that's not enough time for Jim Ryan to say, I'm in charge now. This is what we're gonna do. And then enough time for us to actually play that effect. He technically, whatever Jim Ryan is planning hasn't come to fruition yet because there's not enough time. All the stuff that came out now, the decisions were already made under Sean Layden. That's all him.
He's continuing what Layden started, and they're adding studios. Yeah. The Blue Point acquisition, that is Jim Ryan.
Yeah.
All that stuff is coming under Ryan. The deal that they made with Rockstar Games. That's under Ryan. The deal that they made to all this stuff, all this stuff that's coming out, the Harry Potter game, that is Jim Ryan. So, but them buying Haven Studio, bringing Jade Raymond in, bringing Bungie in, that is them. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
We have not. Now, has it bared fruit yet?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but
I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. What if, ultimately, when Jim Ryan's plan starts coming to fruition, it doesn't turn out so well?
Well, we don't know.
That's what I'm saying, because everybody's like, "Oh, Jim Ryan's great," and I'm like, "Wait a minute. He technically, all he's doing is continuing the decision that was already made for him. He's just letting it roll."
I agree.
And now he's looking like the good guy, but he's riding off the back.
That's why the people complaining. I'm like, they're simply doing what Sean Layden started.
Yeah.
They're just finishing it. That's it. That's all they're doing. It's like when the 9/11 attack happened, President Bush put standing orders in to go kill Al-Qaeda. Didn't care where they were. When Obama took over, they passed the order to him. Do you want this to be a standing order? Yes or no? Yes. And that's exactly what we got right now. Same happened under Trump.
Yeah.
Do you want these? These are standing orders.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is he's getting credit for something that's not really his. He's just continuing. What happens when the stuff he wants, his vision, starts being implemented. That's when we'll see. But that's what I'm saying.
Now we're turning into Marlin Gaming Nation.
No,
and we're starting to speculate.
No. I'm not speculating. No, I didn't speculate anything. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is he's getting credit for something he doesn't deserve credit. People are assuming Jim Ryan's good based on something that's not really him.
Well, no, they're attacking Jim Ryan based on him carrying out what Layton started. They're the ones saying Sony shouldn't be putting games on PC. That's Sean.
That I agree.
Yeah, so that's Sean Layton.
Yeah,
so
but 10 live service games wasn't Sean Layton. That's Jim Ryan.
Well, yeah, and we have to wait and see what those games are like. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to wonder what it's going to be like 2 to 3 years from now. But I just think where people do get confused is that what they're doing as far as the TV shows being announced, that's Layton. As far as the games going to PC, Layton. They're simply discontinuing the standing orders that Layton started. Now, now Housemarque is making, apparently, they're going to make another game. Blue Point, we saw Herman Holt say they deserve to make their own game. That is under, the game that what Jade Raymond's making. Yeah, that's under Ryan. So let's see what they do. We know, and they're going, and Ryan and Hertz want their Sean Layton drop the mic moment when they buy a studio. They haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
When they brought in Insomniac. So they're going to have their moment too. Right. But yeah, that's why I keep saying these dudes online are moist as hell. I know we're about to talk about the studio they just brought in, but just to prelude that, Porter Rock, when you read that boring ass stuff from their Q meeting, their quarterly meeting, and they specifically said how they were going to start investing in putting games on cell phone. Sony makes cell phones, so it makes sense to.
Well, Sony always made. We'll talk about that. Yeah, so I just want the history to talk that.
I just think, unfortunately, I think we agree that it wasn't Herman Holtz and Ryan that said, let's do these movies, TV shows with IP. That Sean Layton started all that. Yeah. They didn't just walk in and say, yes, let's do it. That was Layton. The game's on PC. It was Layton who said, and I'm going to quote Layton. He said, only on PlayStation is going to be a thing of the past, end quote. He said that years ago. Then he went on Jay Barry's podcast, and he had to self-correct Jay Barry in persona. Like, he's like, I'm the one who did this, like the Emperor did in Return to the Jedi. I'm the one who let the Bothans find out the plans of the Death Star. So, but to me, they should have already known that, but they acted like they didn't know. Right. But at the end of the day, he self-corrected them. And you can feel their faces crack when he said that to them. Mm-hmm. So, but that's why I'm like, well, I'd rather see what their long-term plan is. I'm not going to attack it. Now, Jay Raymond, who is extremely talented, if her game.
Listen, we can't overrate her. She hasn't done shit since Assassin's Creed. Let's be honest.
Well, I don't.
She hasn't done shit she hasn't done a damn thing in years.
That's fine. And if the game she produces is trash, I'll be the one like, hey, I don't like this. Or these other live service games, they don't have 10 studios making them. These are third-party games that they are backing. A lot of this is so they're doing something called Factions. I have no idea what that is.
That's Naughty Dog's spin-off.
Okay, so you're gonna be running around shooting people
it's
did in 1998.
It's like the multiplayer in The Last of Us. I guess is more bigger.
But what do you do?
What
you run around with your headset on and you shoot people.
But that's what you do in every multiplayer game, pretty much every shooter.
That's fine. Yeah. So nothing new. So my point is, so I hope, based on what is being said, is that,
but that's Naughty Dog though.
All kind of different things. Yeah, and that's fine. So we know their one first-party studio is allegedly making an online game. That's been confirmed. We don't know what Bend is doing. We know they're making a new game. That's what I'm talking about. Is I'm willing to wait and see what these guys actually put out. You're right, as far as them not standing on their own yet. That's why they've bought shout out to Zuby Tech. He put out all the studios that Sony has purchased since 2019. Those were all purchased under Ryan. That doesn't mean that the groundwork wasn't laid before then. So because they don't just wake up on Tuesday and say we're going to buy your studio and then they announce it on Wednesday.
Right. So shout out to Leo Jimmy. Thank you for the super chat. He says, at this point, we might as well call Xbox a fluke. Xbox failed. 360 technically failed. Xbox One failed. Now Series X. Like I said before, Sony is competing with themselves. Sony been dropping bangers since 2007. Yo, Jimmy's not playing. He's like, Xbox failed. He ain't trying to hear it. He gives them an F. He gives them an F minus. He gives them an F minus.
People compare the two, and I'm like, okay, that's like comparing a NASCAR to an Indy car. They both go around the track, right. but they're different.
All right.
They drive different. They handle different, and the fanboys they're moist as hell. They don't know the difference between an Indy car and a NASCAR.
Right,
so, it just, there's nothing wrong with Xbox. If that's what you want, you need to understand that's what you're getting into. They're not going to bring quality games. Microsoft has never been about quality. Look at their history. They've never been about quality. It's always been about quantity. That's the way they control markets. That's what they do. So, and that's based on their history. That's not me bashing them. That's why Steve Jobs and Bill Gates did not get along with each other. Gates is about quantity, Jobs, quality. Apple stuff is more expensive, quality. Microsoft, cheaper, quantity, control.
Right.
So, and as long as you can look at it like that, you'll be fine.
All right.
But
let me get to this other super chat. We got Post the lover again saying Jim gonna drop megatons P-Rock. Hopefully, megatons the megaton, and Sean Layden did. Now I'm playing, and then he says, "Why are you fear mongering, P-Rock? Hey, I'm just preaching truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm your only friend in these YouTube streets. If I say, hey, it looks like rain, I'm just saying you might want to consider walking around with an umbrella, but you do you, all right." But I want to show
and some boots.
Yeah, I want to show you guys something. So to cap off with this whole competitive with that, of course, Xbox guys don't like that. They don't like the idea that PlayStation 5 is outselling Xbox Series platform that bad. So, somebody replied to Salty is Gamer. And they wondered, did he include TVs? That's literally the reply. Are you including all the Xbox Cloud devices like the 2022 Samsung TVs where xCloud just works natively from the TV? Time to get with the program, bro. So now these Xbox guys want TV sales to be included in Xbox console hardware sales. So now you got it. TV. Yeah, you got it. And I know this guy. I had to block him, that Westy dude, because I already knew he was. I already knew homeboy was remedial because I used to have him on my timeline, and some of the points he used to come up, I'm like, listen. This guy, he might have issues in real life. I might be, because some people, the way they reply, I have to ask myself, am I arguing with someone that's, born the way they're born? And I don't like the thought that I'm stressing out someone. So I just block them. I'd be like, listen, I do have a bit of compassion. So the way some people reply, I have to wonder, this doesn't sound like a troll. This sounds real. So I gotta be careful who I'm having a discussion or talking shit to, because you're not gonna talk shit to certain people. You're just not gonna do it. You're gonna go to hell. So I'm like, and that's him. When I saw him, I'm like, my man said, are you including so now PlayStation 5's got to compete with Xbox sales, Samsung 2022 TV sales, iPhone sales, Android sales. All of that's got to be included.
The unactivated HBO Max.
Yeah, like anything, bro. If you running that on a watch, you got to include all hardware sales. Bro, that is the funniest thing. And I'm like, yep, that's Westy. There he goes. I'm like, so I just thought that I'd provide that for your entertainment. But back to this topic. Now we're gonna talk about the next topic. Acquisition, since Craig brought it up. So Sony recently acquired Savage Studios. But there's a caveat. They make cell phone games. So, I'm going to personally say this. I don't really care. Like, I'm just bringing it up. I just want to get your guys' opinion. Like, are you guys into mobile games? Are you looking forward to the mobile games they're about to make? Because for me, this does nothing for me at all. Like, I understand why Sony did it. I'm not going to say I don't understand. Sony, a lot of people didn't realize Sony always had cell phone developers. In fact, there's one successful. I think it's called Fate Grand Order. It's like $1 billion franchise. It actually makes more money than but I think that's what it's called, right? Fate Grand Order. It actually makes more money than a lot of their AAA IPs. Yeah, but a lot of people, it's huge, right?
And they want to get into the China market.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is because China has a lot of small developers that do mobile.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get into the Chinese market without them getting, I think they want 40% of everything, which is their market. This is why Disney's movies are no longer in China, because China wants 30 to 40% of ownership, to get in. And so, but I didn't mean to interrupt you, Porter. Go ahead.
Yeah. No problem. So, a lot of people don't realize that originally, their mobile developers fell under Sony Music. Weird, but Sony Music was in charge of that. So that was all part of Sony Music division. They had their own little gaming division, which is weird. But I think Sony got smart and decided to consolidate everything through PlayStation, which makes sense. If PlayStation is your gaming division, why not have them handle everything gaming, right? So that's ultimately what they did. So now more people are starting to see on their timelines more conversations on Sony's mobile gaming, but people are assuming, they're just copying off of Microsoft, not knowing, no, Sony's been in mobile gaming for a long time, especially that, again, they have a very successful mobile franchise. But how do you guys feel about this? Are you guys into mobile gaming? Do you know anything about Savage Studio? I mean, I'll be honest, I could not care any less for any acquisitions any acquisitions for mobile gaming. I get it. I understand. Yeah. I just don't care.
Well, Savage Studio could be what they want Bungie to be for their online games. So
for mobile,
possibly. I'll say that's what I was told. I've not looked into it. I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. I was sick the other day. I saw it. I'm like, I have to come back to this probably tomorrow morning. I'll do a podcast on it. But if this is something, I think, like I said, when you read that boring quarterly report, they brought expanding onto the cell phone market up. And I thought, well, I remember you were reading that, and I'm thinking, well, that makes sense because they actually do make cell phones. So that's pretty much all I said about it. But at the end of the day, the markets overseas, whether you be in Korea or Thailand or Japan or anything like that, that market is much more mobile. That's all I can really say. They don't go out and buy big old TVs and then plug in. It's not that some of them don't, but the mobile market overseas is huge. So it's for them, it's an untapped resource. And they went into that business thing, whatever was that backbone thing you can hook your phone into. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but that's your new Vita. That's your new PSP. So these same cats crying just months ago were bragging about the PSP and the Vita. And being able to take the game anywhere and save it and things like that. So if that's all they're doing is why produce Vita hardware when everybody has a cell phone, you just put your stuff on there. Just do it through an app. Excuse me. So so to me, it's exactly what they said they were going to do. It's like, so that's what cracks me up, Porter Rock, is when people say they're not talking to us. You can read their quarterly reports and see what they're projecting to do. And that's how they talk to you. Now, are they going to sit you down like a 5-year-old child?
Well, to be fair, quarterly reports, unless you're into like not just a boring one, they're boring. They're not accessible unless you know they exist. So if you're,
you have to want to know what they're doing. See, people want to know what they're doing, and they have access to figure out what they're doing. But they want to wait to be told. They want it, and like I said,
they want the information directly fed to them. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Fed to them. That's not the way this works. I mean,
It can though.
Go ahead, you can type in Sony News. Of course it can. That's not what they're doing right now. You can go to the Sony portal. It's free. You can get all the information you want. But let me get back to the topic here. So I have a cell phone. So why do the R&D and to put out a Vita or put out a PS, whatever that thing was, a PSP, whatever it was called, when you can just put Sackboy on your phone? You could put Astrobot on your phone. You could put Little Big Planet on the phone. Games like that. The game you were just talking about that makes Tree Fitty, that makes a lot of money. So they just have to figure out the best way, the most efficient way to deliver it. And I had people telling me today it's going to make your cell phone battery die. I said, man, just shut up. This is I mean, you don't. Again, nobody has a gun to your head making you do it. You also have the moist ass homosexual fanboy gamers who are like, well, we want them to do what we want. And it's just like, yeah, well, that's why I said when I go to E3 next year, I'm catching a charge because I'm smacking these people up and down their heads. They are on their own timeline. They don't adhere to what anybody wants except what they want, and either you can shut up or you can just wait for your information. That's kind of where they're at now. But I don't care that they're doing this because they specifically told us they were going to be investing more into this market. Like you said, Puerto Rock, they make a cell phone. And people are like, and somebody said to me today, well, I've never owned a cell phone. Like, they fucking care. That's not my fault you don't own their cell phone. Okay?
Well, really, the game's going to be on every cell phone. So, Android,
it's gonna be
iOS,
So, but again, my point is, why make a PSP, do the R&D on it? Why make the Vita, and do R&D on putting something together? And then when you already have people who can walk into whatever store, T-Mobile, wherever, get their cell phone, and then you can just download an app and play the game.
Okay.
That's what that other game, like you said, is making a gazillion dollars. So the money's there. The market they want to get into, China. They're doing China Hero. Okay, that's why they're doing it, is to get into the Middle Kingdom. Okay. Again, it's not difficult. But again, if you're a fanboy and you're moist, your ears are clogged, right? So it's they don't think they can walk and chew gum at the same time, and that's their problem. Sony has proven time and time again they can.
Okay.
And so that's my opinion on it.
All right, Project Cloud, what do you think about this? Are you into mobile games? What do you have any opinions on this?
Yeah, I definitely can get some insight into this. So, yeah, I'm just by nature not somebody who wants to hold even like a Nintendo Switch handheld. Not that I'm totally against it, but like when I play games, I want to play it on a TV. That's just how I am.
There we go.
So like if I get a Switch, that thing's going to be docked the entire time. I'm not going in portable mode with that. But I would say the future of mobile, yes, you hear the term mobile, and yes, there are going to be those kind of games that we normally associate with mobile to a negative degree. All of those games are on the table, but I would say that the announcement points out AAA mobile gaming is the focus. And look, there's live service AAA, there's single player AAA, so there's definitely different types of AAA games that can come. But I would say what could be really interesting about this is, what if the mobile division here becomes essentially what replaces what used to be Vita, and now you can get an Uncharted Golden Abyss sequel, essentially, or at least a spiritual successor to that. And then what if they also can port that over to PS5 proper? That'd be awesome. So look, on the surface, like, no, this announcement isn't for me, but I would still like to think that there's going to be something really interesting coming out of it for me in a roundabout way. And then I will say that if all else fails, at least there was a nice paragraph kind of in about the middle-ish of PlayStation Blog's post, and it says, As we assured you before with our plans to bring select titles to PC, our efforts beyond console in no way diminish our commitment to the PlayStation community, nor our passion to keep making amazing single-player narrative-driven experiences.
Yeah.
So, look, I just view this as another way that they can probably just have even more secure cash flow. To be honest,
so I would say
with you.
King Thrash. He did say something that was in. I think it was one of the spaces. He did say though that because I think a lot of people, hearing acquisitions or mobile development, they're not interested. Some were even against it. Right? I'm not against it. I just said I just don't care. But he did make a great point that Sony acquiring actual mobile developers could potentially mean they're not going to bother their AAA studios with making mobile games. Which does make sense. Because if Sony wants to make mobile games from a first-party level, you got two choices. You either have your studios be part of the process, or you allocate and, either acquire or you develop and build studios to specifically do that job. So I do like the fact that Sony is not going to bother, or potentially not going to bother, the Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, Insomniac. Like, no, you guys do your console stuff. We will, even though we're going to use, Uncharted IPs, God of War IPs, maybe Spider-Man IPs, depending what IPs they're going to use, Ratchet & Clank, whatever. But those studios will not have, development involvement. They're going to get actual, mobile developers to do that legwork. So we're not going to interfere with your plans with the PlayStation. So I do like that thought. I would say that's probably the only thing I do like out of this is the thought that if Sony's going to do mobile, don't bother, the developers when it comes to making PlayStation 5 games. Leave them alone. They shouldn't be focusing on this. I'm sure they may have some creative input or some assistance, but for the most part, the phone development's out of their lanes. They're not worrying about that. So I would say that's probably one thing.
They're also making cars. Shout out to the chat. The chat made a good point. They make cars.
Who?
Sony?
Sony?
They're going to be making cars. They're going to be making cars.
Is Sony making cars, or are they making components for cars?
Yes.
Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, they're going to make
AI-driven
car.
That shit's gonna be trash.
So the mobile thing, it could be trash.
That shit's gonna be trash. Who the hell's gonna drive a Sony car? That shit don't even sound right. That shit's gonna be trash.
Yeah, I know, it does sound
that shit when you buy, you need a day one update.
Yeah, it won't start. You have to go and download stuff out of the cloud.
Yo, imagine walking in your car and they'd be like, you need to subscribe to PlayStation Plus to turn this sucker on. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
But my point is that Sony proper is more than PlayStation. And a lot of these guys don't understand that. I got clips sent to me. That's what they're called, shorts or clips sent to me of people saying
it says they're making cars with Honda.
Yeah, well, yeah, competing with Honda and BMW.
No, they're making cars with Honda.
Oh, they're making them with Honda in cooperation with Honda.
Yeah, did they partner with Honda?
Maybe. But again, it's just they
diversify.
Yeah, it could be. Well, Honda does make a good car, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
No, man.
But are they going to make components for it? Maybe that's part of the reason they invested in that chip factory.
It's gonna be full of money transactions.
Yeah. But you just have a bunch of guys and gals. Let me make sure I keep it equal here for the abuse I'm about to give out. I've heard clips of people saying that, quite frankly, you don't bring me flowers anymore. And they sound like it's just a bunch of feminine energy coming out of these guys. I've heard, but they own it. I heard them say that they're selfish. I've heard them say that they're, I've heard them say, well, I'm being selfish. I'm being entitled. So, to me, as long as they own it, that's all I've ever said is that you have a bunch of entitled, selfish, spoiled people that the business should operate based on what they should get constant updates and stuff like that, and that's not the way a business is going to operate. So people said, well, we need a roadmap. It's like you've got a roadmap into March of next year. We're in pretty much we're in September. So. And they're like, we knew what Sony was doing, years in advance. And like somebody said, what are they supposed to do? Announce projects 2.5 years out, so it's because that's what they did last generation. I mean, fine. I mean, it was cool seeing those games, but those games would be a year, 18 months out, before, and then they wouldn't update us again for months. So yeah, it's it just comes down to that. But the fact that these cats are owning being entitled, owning being spoiled, that's all I really wanted these cats to do. So now you all can make a choice on who you want to listen to. A bunch of spoiled, entitled people, or go get the information yourself. That's totally up to the people in the chat and the people who will be listening later.
All right, I guess they're gonna create a trash ass car. Unbelievable.
What I'll be interested to see is if their mobile games can be played with a DualSense controller.
Oh, like hooked up to it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's that bone? Isn't that what that thing does?
That's right. The bone. What
is that? Does that do the same thing? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, yes, I forgot. I forgot what it's called. The backbone. That's what it's called. Backbone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Anthony Ramos. What's up, Anthony? What's going on? He says a little something for my only friend in these YouTube streets to keep the Metamucil ads away. Great content as always. Thank you for your service. A shout out to the MCX. I work for AFES. Boy, MCX is life. Tax free, baby. Everyone hit that like button, boy. Tax free. You know what's crazy? The MCX, the exchanges, they are still selling the Quest 2 at the regular prices. They have not increased it by $100. So that shit is like selling out right now at the exchanges. Because if you go to Walmart, they already raised the price by $100 on both versions. It is still $299. Really? Yeah, it is still $299 or $399 for the Quest 2, whatever. They have not raised the prices. I don't know. It's because I don't know, but they have not raised the prices. You can still get it right now. Now, the reason why I didn't get the Quest 2, I was gonna get it, but my wife's not into VR, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get the PSVR anyway, so I've had to just wait for that.
Yeah, let me ask you, P-Rock, are you looking forward to the media reports that come out of TGS because they're going to have a playable, apparently Resident Evil 8 is going to be playable in VR.
Really?
That's the report.
Really? So if TGS, I'm not going to watch it live, but if after TGS I see trends and news about VR, I will go back and watch it because I am definitely most interested in VR. I just can't wait for that. And Sleepy Lights, thank you for the super chat. He said, I might need that Preparation H ad. I'll hit it. I'll drop that ad. Metamucil, you get, have you had enough fiber in your diet? You're going to get these commercials. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. Give your outros, my boy. Craig.
Oh, yeah. It's Craig the Tech Guy. Come join me tomorrow morning. We'll be talking more about this, what's it called? Savage Thing IP. We'll talk a little bit about that. And we'll see what else pops up tomorrow. Could be some more announcements tomorrow morning. I see that Sony does have, they do have the marketing deal with Callisto Protocol. So I've been seeing a lot of ads. I'm seeing ads on regular TV. The right
game to have.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, third-party deals. Sony's doing third-party deals. They have it with Hogwarts. Apparently, that's going to sell really well. And what is you all's? I'm going to ask you two both here. Porter Rock didn't ask. Tomorrow, something called Metacritic scores come out for the Last of Us let's
finish that. Hey, yeah. Craig, what's your prediction? Metacritic prediction?
69. That's my score. 69.
Over or under?
Project. What's your prediction? What's your meta prediction? You can only pick one number. No range. One number. One number.
Ooh, that's tough,
we going for bullseye. We're going for the bullseye. My man says 69, bro. This guy's a sexual deviant.
Man. So I feel like I'll just say it's going to be an excellent title. Like, it's going to be superb. But my question is, because there's a lot of articles that kind of come up and say, hey, is this really even worth being remade? So I feel like there will be a bit of that bias against it that's unfortunate. I'm just going to...
Hit the bullseye. We swing it for the fences. We swinging for the fences. We
90
Yeah.
plus.
let's go. Let's go. We Aaron 99. Aaron Judge that sucker. Go for the bullseye. One shot, one
I
kill.
would say it's going to be 90 plus.
90 plus. No, what's so specific? Give us that number. 90, 91, 92,
93.
93. Ooh, my man has faith.
Like,
Yeah, I thought he was gonna say
it should get
96.
the same score. I mean, arguably as the original game.
Okay.
Like,
What did the
in my
original get?
opinion.
I'm
The original.
I'm going.
Oh, 95,
I'm
okay.
going to say. So that's your final answer. 93.
I'll just say 93 because I think people are going to knock it.
Okay.
And it may be knocked significantly more, but I'm just going to say 93
Okay.
because it's we know it's a great game. Like, yeah, you can have confidence in the polish.
Okay. All right.
It's going to look gorgeous.
Okay. So Craig says 69. You say 93. I am going to go with. And survey says 85.
Yeah,
That's my.
I can see that.
That's my
too.
final answer. 85. And I think.
Hey, GameStop.
And I.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
I will tell you my reasoning. So number one, we already know the story to death. So
No, we don't. I don't know the story.
Well, that's because you haven't played it.
I have. And it's very
How do you don't know? How do you don't know the story?
Well, I forgot.
No. That's different. No. So we played it to death. Everybody
It has no
so,
ray tracing.
so-
See, if
so-
they had ray tracing, I would remember.
Yeah,
the story.
or if it was played on 56 CUs, you would remember.
Yes.
So,
or
but
if it
like
was
that, or Mass Effect,
related,
yeah.
I'd remember.
But
yeah,
so
yeah.
everybody knows the story. So it's not going to be based on the story. The story's not going to do nothing for the game. We already got it. The game already got remastered, so the story will not be relevant. No one's going to really hit hard on the story because it's already been done. So whatever criticism the story has, it's already been done multiple times. So that's number one. Number two, the lack of multiplayer. Say what you want, but if you're gonna remake or remaster the game, then you remake or remaster the game. They took a huge portion out of the game. Now I understand. I'm not arguing, or I'm not saying I don't understand why, because they don't want to re-release the multiplayer to extend the life of the multiplayer, because they're probably gonna eventually shut down the factions multiplayer. If they were to release the multiplayer in this remake, then they have to keep the multiplayer alive longer. They probably gonna shut it down soon or shortly after Factions 2, because Factions 2 is probably gonna be the focus. So I understand the logic, but that still doesn't free Sony from the criticism of still making that decision. You know, they took a risk. You know, to them, what's more important is being able to not prolong the life of the first Factions game and put more focus on the one standalone upcoming one. That's the risk they take. They're gonna get whatchamacallit. You know, they're gonna get ginged on that, right? So the only thing this game is going to stand on, it's not going to be story. They remove multiplayer. It's literally how much graphical improvements, how much animation improvements. It's just really going to live and die off the graphics. And the price is $70. So I think a lot of people are going to gig the game more often. I don't think a lot of people are going to give it. I think more people are going to give it the 70 and 80 scores simply because the only thing this game will have that's going to bring to the table is just graphics, animation. Sure, it looks gorgeous, but again, the story's pretty much irrelevant to talk about it again. They took away the multiplayer, so they can't even talk about that. Like, you know, how much smooth the multiplayer would have been, you know, the graphics and all that stuff. They can't mention any of that. That's taken away. It's a higher price. So it's really gonna DualSense features. I could see the ads, so how well the DualSense features will be implemented, and then also the accessibility options, because that's been a big thing, right? So I think the main thing is gonna be graphics, accessibility options, and DualSense features. That's really the only thing to address in comparison to the older games. But you took away a whole mode.
So-
I guarantee that's gonna be gigged by a lot of people that an entire mode is gone, and that the price went up.
Okay. So can I have rebuttal period?
Of course.
So I just did a quick reference on this. I think this is extremely relevant. So Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection came out in January this year. Guess what the score is? It's 87.
Yeah.
So I don't see. Look, we live in sort of an unpredictable world, but I don't think it's reasonable to think. And again, granted, P-Rock, this is new information. I just looked this up. Maybe you didn't, probably weren't thinking about this, but there's a lot more being put into The Last of Us 1 Part 1 than there is Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, from a development standpoint. So I think it would be very odd if it ends up getting an 87 or lower.
Well, I would say,
So I would really say
the Legacy of
90 should be the minimum.
the Legacy of Thieves, you could have gotten it if you already owned the games for $10. So you see what I'm saying?
They could knock it for that.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
But
like,
nevertheless, they still did charge it.
You see what I'm saying?
At least $60 for the full thing if you never bought
it.
Right?
So Legacy of Thieves, and it's like 2 games. So you get in 2 games, right? And
you're kind of getting that with Part 1 because you get the Left Behind DLC.
That's what I'm saying.
Granted,
so
not quite as much as the Legacy of Thieves collection, but it's.
But I think the main thing is Legacy of Thieves. You could have just gotten it for $10 with and then I think it launched for $49. I don't think it was $70 when it launched. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't $70.
Okay.
So Legacy of Thieves collection was $50. Or if you already had,
I think I paid like 60 or 70.
Let me see. How much? Hey guys, in the chat, how much was Legacy of Thieves collection when it first came out? The chat will know. The chat always got my back. The Legacy of Thieves collection. I know.
See if I can look at my receipt.
I think it was it $49?
Yeah, I think it was $50. See, so. Yeah, oh my God!
$49.
So only one of y'all's right. See, now y'all messing around. See, I have faith in y'all. Now this ain't $1. What is this? Game Pass? It was on Game Pass. 59. See, my logo said 50. I think it was $50. Yeah, it was $50. So it was 50. I remember it was $50. And if you already had the game, you could upgrade it for $10. So it was $50. So, but The Last of Us remake, it's a full $70, and you took an entire mode off. It's gonna get gigged. I have a feeling it's not going to get gigged by everybody. Some people, remember, so reviews are opinionated, right? So it's all an opinionated article. But I think there's going to be I just have a perception, I just have a feeling, I'll say, that there's going to be a lot of people's opinions. They're really going to weigh the cost of the game versus the content that they got in comparison to what they got the first time when they bought the game. And when they rebought the game again on PlayStation, which was the Last of Us remaster, Like, they can't even say 60 frames now. It feels great because the game was already 60 frames on the remaster. So technically, even that is like we already know how the game plays at a smooth 60 frames because that was already done with the remaster. So even if the original remaster was still stuck on 30, then that would be, for the first time you're playing it on 60 frames. Maybe if they add a performance mode at 120 frames, that might be something else. If they add that, I don't know if they're going to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I've heard that's what they are doing. I'm also going to see what it's like in the if I can output it at 1440p and then see because I'm in that beta. Shout out to the community for the code.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see what that is like. I'm gonna hook it up to my monitor and maybe play the town, getting out of the town. I do remember that to see what that's like in 1440p. Because if it's outputting at 4K, I would like to see the down sampling on how that's gonna work. Because because that's newer stuff. I would like to see.
Senyu.com. He said in the super chat under 90 because the majority will be 90 and Steviver will be 60. Steviver already thrashed the games when it was like brand new. I think that's one of the games he thrashed. So good luck with this one. That thing's gonna be like a 40. Oh man, But I think you're gonna see. I think we're gonna see a lot of 80s. Like some of the people that probably gave it 90 before, they're probably gonna drop their score down below 90. Still be in the 80s, maybe in the upper 80s, but I think it's enough to where the game will end up averaging 85 and not the 90 plus that it normally got. But that's all guessing. We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow. So anyway, Project, say your outro.
Well, I'm trying to make this quick because I wanted to say it earlier, but we moved on to a different topic. But going back to the whole Sean Layden, Jim Ryan thing, look, I think right now there's a bit of shared glory that kind of is going on where Sean Layden may have greenlit certain games, but Jim Ryan has led them to completion, and not necessarily just completion, but in some cases perhaps has had control of the game in his overview for the majority of its development. So, look, in situations like that, I would just give both sides like credit, and I would say like the one announcement that I think for sure is essentially all Jim Ryan and Herman Hulst is Wolverine. That's all them. Like the team that's working on that game had already just finished Miles Morales, and that's the team that's now leading Wolverine. And obviously they're expanding their team to match the scope of the game. So that's all Jim Ryan, Herman Hulst.
Actually,
sure.
I get credit for that because I've been telling Insomniac since day one they need to go for an X-Men IP. So I'm personally going to take credit for that. They stole, they listened to me.
You said
they listened to me.
You wanted an X-Men game.
Okay.
We're getting a
no.
Wolverine
Yeah, I
game.
said, hey, they need to go after. No, I said they need to go after X-Men IP. So they went with what they could. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they couldn't get the whole X-Men IP because maybe somebody else had that. But they'd be like, hey, we could give you Wolverine specifically though. Hey, listen, let me be great. Let me be great, all right? Just let me be great, all right? Just say thank you.
Yeah.
Just say thank you.
Yeah, I would like to know if those are happening in the same universe. That's what I want to know.
So they did mention there was a license plate that said Hulk 181 or something like that. It was an issue. So in the game there was a license plate in the bar, and somebody saw a license plate that says HLK, and I think there's one whatever. Yeah. And when you look up that license plate, it was a comic pertaining to Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little Easter egg.
That is a nice.
That's a cool Easter egg, and it's just incredible how people will just zoom a frame, like pause it, zoom it, and they will inspect it with a fine tooth comb, and just find shit like that. That's incredible. Hulk 181. So yeah, it's HLK 181. That's the license plate. That's on the wall.
Yeah, Marvel's fanboys online, they do that really well. They're doing that with She-Hulk right now. Like, oh, well, she did this. She was in this courtroom, and this matches this, and this, and this. She had on this outfit, and that's in this comic book, and she has it on here. So yeah, they're pretty good at that.
So let me share my screen.
Yeah.
So this is Hulk 181 right here. The Incredible Hulk 181, and you see Wolverine and Hulk. So this is an incredible Easter egg. Like, do they have the Hulk license too? Like, will he be in? Oh shit! What am I doing here? Would he be in the game, and then that leads to a Hulk game? Oh my God! Sony won. Sony won the generation, bro. If they pull that off, Hulk's in the game somehow in the story intertwined, which leads to an actual Hulk game. Oh man! Like stop.
You're right. That would be something.
Like
else.
stop. Like we're done. Insomniac won. Like stop. Insomniac won. Like just that's it.
Well, they've already won. There's Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. We win.
Yeah.
We already win.
But I think that would be incredible if they ended up pulling that off. Because that's a great Easter egg. That is a fantastic Easter egg that they did.
Yeah. I will say this too, P-Rock, and look, I think when you were originally talking about how you wanted to see X-Men IP from Insomniac, or at least from PlayStation at some point,
yeah.
I guess the picture I had in my head was an X-Men that is like a T for teen, rating, that would be comparable to Spider-Man, and it seems very clear. I mean, we'll wait to see for the the final confirmation, but every indication, and they even use this wording, is that it's like a mature tone.
Yeah,
I really do think the Wolverine game's gonna be M-rated, and I just did not see that coming.
Well, Grand Theft Auto's M-rated, and they do a fantastic job attracting to everybody.
That's true.
Okay,
yeah,
so I'm gonna share my screen in case people don't know what we're talking about in terms of the Easter egg. But this is the screenshot, somebody of Wolverine, and this is right here, HLK 181. This is the license plate. So that is incredible. I don't know if everybody caught up, but that's it right there. I mean, that is incredible. That's a great Easter egg.
I think the bigger news would be that they would have some type of possibly an adjacent license to have the Hulk.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if he's in the game,
would break the internet.
Like if he's in the game and they have a story, and then that leads to a standalone Hulk game, like oh man. Like
they could do World Breaker.
Man, that's like, or maybe a horror Hulk.
Yeah, Harmony, a horror.
I'm lying.
Yeah.
All right, Project. Anything else?
I will say just in closing. So like Hip Hop Gamers come out like probably sometime this year, if not previous year, and he was saying that there's a lot more to come from the Marvel front with PlayStation. Not just Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, like more games. I think there's actually probably a more multiplayer.
Shout out to Critopsy for sending me that picture. I just want to give him a shout. I'm sorry. Shout out to Critopsy. He sent me the picture in the DM. Appreciate it, brother. Now go ahead.
Yeah, and I would also expect that there will be more single-player Marvel games from Sony too, and there's not to mention we're going to get news about the Amy Hennig Marvel game next week here. That's going to be incredible.
Wow, D23?
Yes, please. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you know what? So I don't want to start a whole new topic, but I just want to finish off with, so we all know Crystal Dynamics and Eidos, they now are officially under Embracer Group.
Yeah.
So that is done. I just want to finish off the podcast and say I wish them the best, and I really hope they fix Avengers, because Avengers has potential. I mean, I beat it. I did all 4 main campaigns in the Wakanda expansion. It is fun, but there's nothing else to do except doing the same thing over and over and level and level and level again. The netcode is still trash. It takes forever to. It's trash, and I'm not even fanboying. Like, it's still hard to connect with people. There's hardly anyone playing, so I don't think that's much of a netcode. But when you do play and you load into the level, sometimes there's no enemies, so you have to restart the level. But then when you restart it, sometimes the people get booted off. I mean, the netcode is trash. It is. It's like Destiny Day 1 level trash. Like, holy cow, you need some updates to fix that shit.
Wow.
Like I played the game primarily by myself because the netcode is trash. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, playing with PS4 gamers, that ain't it. Because the game loads so damn slow. Like, oh my god, it's a miserable experience online. It's just not fun. Maybe it might be fun if you know people and you just play directly, but trying to do matchmaking, oh Jesus Christ, like, this is bad. And then, like, once you do all the campaigns and all the missions, it just becomes a grind to just level up your characters over and over and over, but you really don't get nothing out of it. So it's like, Ghostface is like PS4 bashing. Yeah, that's right, I'm bashing the PS4, man. That thing is done. Like, we need to move on. PS4, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if you guys are up to that point, but like, PS5 got me so spoiled with its fast loading times that when there's a game that's loading, like if I'm playing a PS4 backwards compatible game and it's not updated or not taking advantage of loading, I'm like, oh my god. Like, it feels like I'm wasting my entire life. I could get my doctorate degree by the time this shit loads. It's just bad. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, anything else, Project Cloud? Because I know you wanted to just give Jim Ryan, who has done nothing for PlayStation, all the credit.
Oh.
I'm playing.
No. He gets. Here's the thing. Like, was Sean Layden involved with PS5? Yes, but I will say
Jim Ryan did nothing.
He was involved with PS5 software. I don't think he was really much involved with PS5 hardware overall. I mean, maybe
actually no. So I think Jim Ryan was in charge of Europe. He was in charge of the European studios.
Yes, yes, and then oh shoot, what was I going to say here? So, Herman Hulst is actually the replacement for Sean Layden. Actually, Jim Ryan is the big chief, the CEO of PlayStation. No,
Sean Layden was the CEO of PlayStation.
Well,
Herman Hulst replaced Yoshida. So Yoshida went strictly.
Layden originally took over Jack Tretton's role, which was like CEO of Sony Entertainment America, but Tretton reported to Andrew House, who was the CEO of PlayStation overall. Mm-hmm. So Layden was never the top guy.
He was never the CEO of PlayStation?
He was the CEO, but not the. There's multiple CEOs that they had of their different regions. Jim Ryan was, I think, the CEO of Europe or whatever. Or marketing. I'd have to look up the history, but he definitely a top guy at PlayStation, a top lieutenant to Andy House, for example.
Let me see. I'll tell you.
And then also, Yeah. So eventually, Layden we could essentially say demoted, although it's probably more voluntary and made more sense as opposed to like punishment or whatever. He became head of PlayStation Studios. They didn't call it exactly in that terms, but he was the head of their software. So yes, he was obviously involved with like Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, Demon Souls, the PS5 launch lineup for sure. Although Ryan definitely carried it, the last of it over, and not to mention Ryan was there from the beginning. It's not like I think Ryan was left in the dark or something. I think he definitely made input on this. He's part of the PlayStation leadership. But I would also say that as far as the PlayStation 5 launch and the marketing strategy, that's all on Jim, because 2020 changed the world and PlayStation had to navigate that. Like that's price point, console design, marketing design, confirmation on the games they're going to launch and be in the launch window. Like that's all Jim at the end of the day.
Right.
That's not Sean Lane because he wasn't there.
All right. So we're wrapping it up. Do your wrap up.
Yeah, thank you for having me on tonight. Hopefully I brought up some good points, things to consider, right?
Yeah.
I'm always there to advocate for things that deserve advocacy.
For Jim Ryan Lyon. For Judas Iscariot.
I'm not saying
he's a Judas. Nah, I'm just playing. He sold us out.
Okay.
Nah, I'm playing. No, but all seriously, thank you so much for it. Now it's true, man. Thank you so much for your opinions and stuff like that. I truly appreciate both of you for rocking out.
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing because I called him a Judas. The lies of Jim. The lies of Jay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm glad. I hope you guys, I said P-Rock should go to sleep. He got that CFT in the morning. Hell nah. Tomorrow I'm going to see the Yankees. I'm off. I'm on leave. Anyway, we're chilling. But anyway, thank you so much, fellas, for rocking out. Love the conversation today. And to the chat, thank you so much for rocking out. For all the members, thank you for being part of the family. If you're interested in becoming a member and being part of the channel growth, I would truly appreciate it. But at the very least, as long as you just show up, subscribe, hit the like button, so that way you don't see those Metamucil ads. You don't see those, Viagra ads. You don't see old, wrinkly skin people ads. Just like, subscribe, and rock out. See you guys every Tuesday. This is your only friend, these YouTube streets, Puerto77. And I am out of here because I'm not going to lie, I am starving. Anyway, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of the week, and peace.